Oh, I've been here. I just wanted to get one more look at Dark Side. Holy shit, the Snyder Cut trailer, the hype associated with it. I cannot wait to see this movie. We're going to talk about that and so much more today, everyone. Over 200 people waiting for this stream. I don't know why. I don't know what's got into y'all today, but we got a lot of things to talk about. So we'll let people roll in here. We'll talk to them a little bit, say hi, and then we'll get into the topics. Again, a lot of people here today. You guys are fucking awesome. I see Jake the Movie Geek just get into the Snyder Cut. Well, I'm probably going to talk about a lot of the Star Wars and Gina Carano stuff first, although I am going to sprinkle in some Snyder Cut and just how excited I am for what's going on in the beginning here. And then probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to send out some links, get some people on here to discuss with me the Snyder Cut stuff, because there's a lot to peel apart, a lot of people with different theories, with different reactions, all of that good stuff. So we're going to have a little bit of celebration and a little bit of criticism for a different company in Disney. So it should be really fun, everybody. I see Pinheads in here, Parrotheads in here, Eddie Gannon, Rooftop Korean. For either DC Uninformed, like for the DC Uninformed, are there any recommended DC films? You should watch Man of Steel, and you should watch Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition. So basically Zack Snyder's director's cut of that. It provides so much more context than the theatrical cut. It's like not even close. So I would definitely recommend getting into those two. Those are really the only ones you need to watch, to be honest with you. Let's see. Andrew Johnson's here. Benzo's here. Big Daddy Megatron. Trey Courtney. Boba Fett's here. Boom. Let's see. Christopher Barker is always here because, again, Christopher Barker has nothing better to do with his life than to sit here with a bunch of people that absolutely despise him. But if that's what gets you off, Chris, then that's what gets you off. It's Valentine's Day. I know you're alone. So if this is all you can do, then this is all you can do, man. Enjoy your Valentine's Day alone. Hate watching my stream. That's incredible. As I pour out some Basil Hayden's to celebrate Zack Snyder's Justice League. God, amazing day, isn't it? Quicksilver's here. We got a couple things to talk about. We already got some super chats. We got a channel member here. We got a bunch of good things, guys. Biggles Mets for $2. Still no sign of Green Lantern. Biggles, come on, man. Do you really think, right? You really think that he would let that go on the trailer? Come on, Biggles. You know it's gonna be there. You know it's got to be there, right? I mean, we got just about every other single person, right? Every other single person you could think of associated with DC Comics making appearances in this. You got fucking Desaad and Granny Goodness. You got Ryan Chow the Atom, Ryan Choi, sorry. You have so much DC porn if you're a DC Comics fan in this movie. It's going to be fucking awesome. Cannot wait. Tupac Shakur for $2. What's up, Tupac? Sup, boss? Keep the heat coming for all of us. I will try, brother. I will try. Martian Manhunter? Yeah, we have not seen Martian Manhunter yet. I mean, come on. There is so much we don't know about this. And again, we are going to talk about it, guys. Do not worry. We're going to talk about it. David Hart for $5. Man of Steel, first sci-fi contact movie, or sci-fi first contact. BVS, political thriller with superheroes. Justice League, Lord of the Rings style epic with superheroes. I can't wait. I think that's a really interesting way to think about it. A really interesting way to think about it, to be sure. I like that, actually. I like that. Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne. I hope so. That'd be smart of them, wouldn't it? That'd be pretty smart of them. Do you ever think Lucasfilm will go bankrupt? No. No, I don't think so. It would take a lot for that to happen. We're a long way away from that. But we did make them bleed this week, didn't we? We'll get into it. Don't worry. We may, the point was never to, if we all cancel our Disney Plus subscriptions, all of us that are doing this hashtag on Twitter, then Disney's done. That was never the intention of anything. And if anything thought that that's what anything was intended by it, you're really fucking stupid, to be honest with you. The point was to send a message that there are a lot of people out there that do not support what Lucasfilm is doing, that do not support what Disney is doing to its employees, the hypocrisy of Disney and Lucasfilm. And there's a lot of people that will support Gina Carano with whatever she decides to do. That was really the point that was meant to be sent. And I think that happened. It is one tiny drop in the bucket. It is Leonidas making the God King bleed, right? That is the first step towards change. And I think it was a fucking awesome thing to see. We're going to talk about it. Do not worry. Okay, you guys got Streamlabs going on here. I will thank you. Let me actually copy that then. Copy the Streamlabs, because I know a lot of people like to send Streamlabs, and that's completely fine. I appreciate you letting me know in chat. I will pin my own message there so that people can see it if that's the way they prefer to send it. So let me check that. Let me hit these super chats. I cannot wait to talk. I have so much stuff to talk about. From Siberian Dream for $3, I have no issues with Gina. John Fillmore is actually transphobic. He called trans people farm animals. It's disgusting. She's never done that. A joke is not transphobia. Yeah, Siberian. And you know what? Not putting your pronouns in your bio is not transphobia, despite what a lot of people would try to have you believe. There is this push for everyone to be forced to do exactly what this certain group of people want you to do. And if you fall outside of that, regardless of how you feel, we've seen it with people like J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling, who is like kind of an ideologue, has done a lot of things in her books to push certain identity politics. She says one thing different. Fuck her. She's canceled. She's a TERF. How dare she? How dare she not agree with us on this one topic? And now you have people trying to cancel her every time she says anything. That's how it is with these weirdos. But thank you for that. Let me get back to these. Joshua Sam, what's up, Joshua? Hello, Ryan. I'm ready to see you destroy the 10 Disney shills that are in the chat. You think there's 10? Do we really think that there's 10 Disney shills? Maybe. I mean, maybe there are 10. Do we have 10 dislikes? That would maybe be it. Congratulations, Zack Snyder, for your incredible trailer and what you have done. I'm drinking for Zack Snyder tonight. That's what I'm doing. We do have a lot of attention in chat. We do have a lot of attention in chat. Tiffany says, sign of Ryan's success, trolls about. Oh, yes. There always are. And we let them come here. You can speak your mind. You know, as long as you're not spamming the chat, you know, and saying things against YouTube's terms of service, you can speak your mind. And I am more than willing to shit down your throat if you come at me. No problems with that at all. But this is just normal, right? This is just normal. Where's the Ryan Army at? Oh, they're here. Matthew with the Jeremy picture. They're here. Devil-eyed Elvis for $10. What's up, brother? Says, hit that like button and a heart. Thank you, Devil-eyed Elvis. Appreciate that, man. Gaming or What becomes a channel member. Welcome to the Raging Ryans. Welcome to the Ryan Army, as they call it. Yeah. Gaming or What. Appreciate that, buddy. RS for $5. Hail chat. Hail Kinel. Hail Wonder Woman's ass. Well, I mean, we're always going to do that, right? We're always going to do that. I don't think that's ever a doubt. That has to happen. Thomas Gilkey. Thomas, I saw your DM, brother. I saw your DM today. I'm sorry that I missed it. I'm going to get back to you on that. If there's still time, I'd love to get in on it. I see you in chat right there. Let's see. What was? Oh, Drunk 3PO is here. Jay says, I like Ryan. I like Jay too. Jay did a Zack Snyder's Justice League trailer reaction. So many people are doing that. It's so cool to see. And then Sporking News Podcast, the man. Keep blowing up, Ryan. I will try. I will do my best. I'm just going to keep grinding. Nikki says Ryan is glowing again today. That may be the alcohol. That may be the alcohol. I don't know. You never can tell. But let's get into this, shall we? Just really quick, one last thing about Zack Snyder's Justice League before I hop into the Gina stuff. To see a fandom accomplish something that they were told for 3 years couldn't happen. This movie, oh, it doesn't exist. It's never going to see the light of day. It's impossible. Never going to happen ever, 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 you know? And then to see what happened now, it is fucking incredible. And I think I missed some super chats. Did I? Because I remember Midnight's Edge sent a super chat, but I don't see it here. So for some reason, my super chats are messed up. I will find that while I continue to speak. I think I can do 2 things at once, or at least I can damn well try. Let me go to supers, and then let me go to see purchased, and boom. I think I got this down by now. I think I got this down. See all. There we go. All right. I did not see these earlier. Thank you guys so much. We got Midnight's Edge After Dark. Thumbs up super sticker for $3 from Tom. What's up, Tom? Tom did an awesome stream with a couple people, different opinions on Midnight's Edge earlier today. So definitely go check that out. Definitely go check that out. Got that all. And then Streamlabs, and then we'll get into it. From Siberian Dream, again, I just finished The Lost Ones for Young Jedi Knight series. I love the series. I think what everyone expected it to be. Luke training a whole new generation of Jedi Knights, though Kevin J. Anderson doesn't write falls to the dark side well. Kevin J. Anderson, I'm not a huge fan of some of his work, but I am a huge fan of what Kevin J. Anderson does to bring in the rest of the expanded universe in what he writes. So that I can definitely credit him for. Now, let's talk about Gina Carano, shall we? Because Gina Carano got fired for her political opinion. There is no other way to talk about it. There is no other way that you can pretend like that's not what the reason was, because we have seen so many people at Lucasfilm that have been posting online things that are far more offensive, quote unquote, offensive than what Gina Carano posted. Gina Carano used an allegory about people being polarized and demonized, right? Into thinking that you should hate a certain group of people for a certain way, right? Not saying that this is what's happening in current day. She never mentioned any political party. She never mentioned any side, left or right. She simply said, hey, listen, people can do bad things when it starts like this. People can do bad things when you start off by alienating an entire group of people, by training the populace that this type of person, whether it be because of the way they look, the way they think, the way they act, right? This type of person shouldn't be humanized, right? We should dehumanize these people. And that's exactly what we saw happen, isn't it? The point was proven. What Gina Carano said, we saw play out in real time as Lucasfilm fired her. Her talent agency dropped her. You see all of these people spinning what she said completely out of context, labeling her these things as Disney fired her for her political opinion. Isn't that insane? And it would be one thing if, they just had a policy, social media policy. You can't say anything. You can't speak your mind. Just keep it straight with what Disney and Star Wars is trying to put out. And I'd be fine if Disney instituted a policy like that. But in reality, I think what we all want is for it to be, consistent one way or the other. Either you're allowed to speak your mind on social media or you're not. In the case of Gina Carano, for making an allegory about just one aspect of something that happened in Germany in the 1930s and 40s, about how people were trained to hate other people, she's been fired. While Pedro Pascal literally called half of America Nazis. We'll get into it. I'm pulling up this thing from Bounding in the Comics here. Bounding in the Comics has been all over it. Let's pull this up. Now, this is a Bounding in the Comics article where they go over a couple of these things. Disney and Lucasfilm's firing of Gina Carano is purely political, as they employ people who regularly attack Republicans, white people, and Israel. And again, it'd be one thing if this was completely wrong, but it's not. History is edited to the point, or people don't realize that it got to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews. The government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jewish. How is that different from hating someone for their political views? Basically just a warning, right? Just a warning saying that, hey, listen, it's a slippery slope, that people weren't just able to go out and do these things. It required brainwashing of the populace. And what we see going on right now with cancel culture in society is a real thing. And shockingly, she was proven exactly correct. As all of these people came out to try to unperson her, to try to cancel her, it wasn't enough that Disney came out and said she is no longer a part of Star Wars anymore. They wanted her to never get a role ever again, and they were celebrating it. But when it comes to hypocrisy, I think it's pretty easy to see that. Look at what Pedro Pascal said. Look at what Pedro Pascal said. Losers in 1865, Confederates. Losers in 1945, Nazis. Losers in 2020, Make America Great Again hats. Now, whether you like Trump or don't, I don't really get into that type of political stuff on this channel, and I really never intend to. But there's no doubt the comparison that he is making here. And even followed up on Steph's tweet, on My Nerdy Home's tweet that he responded to. I don't mean to reiterate it, but you feel me about the MAGA hats, right? Confirming that that is indeed what he meant, to call Trump supporters Nazis. Now, you want to talk about allegories and disrespecting the Holocaust and all of these things. You don't think that is worse than what she said? You're out of your fucking mind if you don't believe that. And it wasn't just that. Oh, here it is. That's the reply. Look, I'm in there. There's my name. Without restating the obvious, you feel me about the MAGA hats, right? And that wasn't the only thing. Hashtag This Is America from Pedro Pascal, right? Pedro Pascal. Germany, 1944. America, 2018. Now, keep in mind, let's be really fair to Pedro. This isn't really an accurate comparison, but I don't think he realizes that. This is a picture from Palestine. This is a picture from Palestine from 2010, not America and not 2018, but you can't expect a piece of shit like Pedro Pascal to know the difference. Now, I despise Pedro Pascal. I made a lot of videos about it when he did this, calling him out. But there was one thing I didn't do. I didn't call for him to be fired, because I don't think you should fire people over this. I think that people should be allowed to speak their minds, as long as they're not advocating anything criminal or something like that. You know what? I think there's it would be a ridiculous line to have to cross. But I think you should be able to put out stuff like that if you want. But, each company is their own. Each company has different rules. But this one, it is clearly hypocrisy. When Gina Carano ends up getting fired and bitch-ass Pedro Pascal is still there. Again, I will defend Pedro's right to say that. I think that he should be able to say it. I think he's an idiot. I would love to talk about him and call him out when he says these things. But I think he should be allowed to do it. I think he should be allowed to do it. And what about Christina Ariel? Christina Ariel, we made a lot of videos about. Christina Ariel called all white people racist. There is no other way you can describe it. She called all white people racist. What does Star Wars do? Our Star Wars community is one of hope and inclusivity. We do not stand for bullying and racism. We support Christina Ariel. Shocking, because they're supporting racist rhetoric from her. But they fire Gina Carano. Mark Ruffalo comparing Nazis, right? Calling people Nazis. I thought we weren't supposed to talk about things that happened in World War II. That's disrespectful. And then this one, a guy, again, who works for Disney, Jack Morrissey. MAGA kids go screaming, hats first in the wood chipper. He didn't get fired. So the hypocrisy is real, guys. The hypocrisy is real. So there is no other way you can describe it than Gina Carano got fired for her political opinions. But she's a fighter. We know she's a fighter. That's why she got support from so many of us when she did not bend the knee to the cancel culture mob. She didn't do it. She refused to do it, in fact. So what did she do? She fought back in a big way. She fought back in a big way. I got to find it here, because, again, these articles are just like going crazy. Her talent agency dropped her. People wanted her dead. People wanted her to never, ever work again. Oh, she's canceled. They were screaming, ha, 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 we got her. Cancel culture wins. Well, they tried. They tried until Gina Carano announced a new movie that she will star and produce in. They can't cancel us if we don't let them. And we are going to read all about this press release and about Gina Carano fighting back against these people. But first, Let me catch up. I don't know if there's any super chats. I just been rolling, guys. We got almost 900 people here. Just thank you guys so much for being here. If your first time here, consider subscribing, smash the like button. You can see the chat. We got a crazy chat. That's how it is here. We have the best chat because not only do I attract a swarm of idiots and losers that want to come here and fight, but we also have an army of people here to call them retarded, to tell them how stupid they are, and that is a wonderful thing. So shout out to the chat, shout out to the idiots, and shout out to the vast majority of you who are fucking badass. Where is this at? Strike Skifter for $5. Ryan, what happened with GameStop? Can it happen at Disney, or can anyone buy Lucasfilm stock? Well, as far as that goes, I think that's an entirely different situation. I think that's an entirely different situation that really falls under the Lucasfilm or the Disney umbrella. But can anyone do anything about the stock? Listen, they just announced a quarterly report that had massive numbers and massive gains for them, and their stock dipped. So I think that does tell you just a little bit about the impact that all this bad press really had. Because again, you know, you do have a little bit of power, a small, finite amount of power, but you do have it to stop giving these people money. And, you know, that's what a lot of people decided to do. Obviously, a fraction of their overall base. Again, a drop in the bucket. But you can't deny that it was definitely there, that they definitely felt it just a bit. And they're still feeling it as they're trying to erase Gina Carano. But as far as what happened with GameStop, no, I don't think that can happen. Joshua Sam for $5. It took less than 2 months from Lucasfilm to turn a lot of fans against them. So they're such an incompetent company, and The Mandalorian always sucked. Now, listen, you guys know me on The Mandalorian. I have been consistent about The Mandalorian since the very fucking beginning, right? That I don't think it's very well made. I do think, and I've said this kind of over time, that I think that Jon Favreau wants to do the right thing. I just think the way that they're going about it isn't the best approach. I think they're ignoring a lot of lore problems, you know, things like this. So I don't think that the show's good. I think it's written very poorly. I think that they don't keep lore internally consistent. And I think it's very reliant on all of these like guest stars, all these dangling keys instead of actually a good story. But I think his heart's in the right place. I just think he's that it's not a good story that's being told, if that makes any sense. But like Gina Carano, Cara Dune, I went back and watched my episode 4 review recently because there's a lot of people trying to say, there's a lot of people out there that are like, you guys didn't like Gina Carano until you found out that she might be a conservative. You thought that it was woke. How dare you? Really? Well, I mean, I still have my reviews up. You can go back to my episode 4 review. Search Mandalorian episode 4 RK Outpost. You can find it. It's there. It is a different me. I'm in a different setup. I'm talking very slowly. It's a bad video. I have gotten so much further since then. However, when I talk about Cara Dune, I say Cara Dune. I like Cara Dune. I want to learn more about Cara Dune. I find Gina Carano to be believable as this character. I even said, you're going to have some people saying, oh, wham power, things like that. I said, I don't think so. I think that it makes sense in the context of what was going on. So for all you trying to say that, oh, these hypocrites, all that, no, not the case. Again, you're talking because you don't actually watch my content. You might hate watch it just because you're so triggered and rage, but you don't listen to what I'm saying. You don't understand how consistent I have been over the years because, again, you're just a piece of shit if you think that. The people that are trying to call everybody out on Twitter, lump me in with all these other people who did call it woke. You're just not fucking right, unfortunately. Again, but the people, right? The people that hate me, the Christopher Barkers in the chat, right? The people like Christopher Barker in the chat. Listen, they take L's like they take cock very often. That's all I can say. That's all I can say to people like Chris Barker and all the haters. But that's just how it is sometimes. Douglas Allman for $5. It's clear now Disney has chosen Kennedy over Favreau by firing Gina. I don't think that that's necessarily what was going on, Doug. I know that I know people like Doomcock have been reporting that for a long time. WDW Pro saying that that's happening. I've said from the beginning, I do not think that is the case. I think that those are lies, whether it's being made up or whether they're being fed wrong information. It's just not accurate. There is Jon Favreau doesn't just have complete control. Kathleen Kennedy kicked out and said that stuff, that's not true. I've been saying it from the beginning that it is not true. And it turns out that it's not true. I think this basically proves it. So there you go. Did I get my other two? I'm going to finish reading these super chats, Saberi, and then I'm going to go back to Streamlabs. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much. 950 people. Can we break 1,000 people today? Can we break 1,000 people today? Going to be called a bigot for that, Ryan, but Ryan doesn't give no fucks. I don't even know what you're talking about, Em, but yeah, I don't. I don't care, man. Like, I am going to speak my mind regardless. I'm going to speak my mind regardless of what happens. That's just how I am. That's how I'm going to be, because you guys can tell if people aren't being genuine. You see that on YouTube. You guys know, you've seen people before where you watch it. They might be reacting to a trailer and it's just like they're just trying to pretend to like it or pretend to not like it, whatever it may be. And I think you guys can tell. So I always try to be real for you. I always try to be real. G-Man for $5. Her tweet wasn't even a political opinion. She was stating historical fact. Truth. Truth. Exactly. Hashtag I stand with Gina. I stand with Gina too. Hashtag we love Gina Carano. 100%. I see Combat in the Mat in the chat. That's my boy. Combat on the Mat. Again, might be shocking to some of you. This isn't my job. I know Combat on the Mat from my actual day job. Awesome dude. Give him a sub. You should definitely do it. But yeah, shocking. This isn't my job. I know it's surprising to some people. That's just the way it is. Cal G for $5. Soy Barker. Good Lord, what happened? Did Ryan shove his rod down somebody again? Also looking forward to the Snyder Cut. Hashtag Tapeworm Gang. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Agreed, Cal. I don't know what happened to Chris Barker, but I know he watches all my videos. Thank you for the ad revenue, Chris Barker, even if it's hating. Blue North Bear for $2. Support Gina. Join the Carano Corps. I like that. The Carano Corps. I like it. WZRBS for $5. Ryan has small package. No capitalization. Not even a small packages. Ryan has small package. I wish I actually did open a package earlier today. I wish I could pull it up, but I appreciate the $5. I will always take $5. Thank you. WZRBS. Joshua saying for $2, Favreau protecting Gina rumor was always bullshit. That's, you know, that's kind of exactly how I feel about it as well. So thank you, Joshua Sam. Yeah. Combat on the Mat. Where'd he go? I'll believe anything Ryan says. Yes, there it is. I've indoctrinated them. I've indoctrinated people. That's what I'm doing here. Thank you, Combat on the Mat. And then let me check the Streamlabs. And then we will get into exactly how Gina Carano is fighting back and why these people can't stand it. All right, a couple Streamlabs. Thank you, guys. $5 from your mom. So not my mom, your mom. That's how it's said. F Jeremy, big fan of all you guys at G&G. Screw Disney. Thank you, your mom. I really appreciate. I always have fun with your mom. I'm glad that your mom is here. I'm glad that your mom is in chat. So thank you. Siberian Dream, and I appreciate the shout out for all the G&G peeps. Siberian Dream for $3. Are you going to cover the last Darth Bane novel? Yeah, actually I should. I read it. I'll do one in the maybe the next week. I'll do one. I did make a video for the expandeduniverse.com, so go check out the expandeduniverse.com to get my exclusive video over there. As another offensive Lucasfilm employee, I think Justina Ireland's comments are worse. Men suck. At least if I was feeling charitable, I could see the allegory in Pascal's tweet. And then another buck. It bugs me. People think Filoni's the savior of Star Wars. The guy was the Disney management pre-Disney. Gender swaps, death of 1,000 cuts to lore, and clinging to Lucas with credentials he never had. He got Malachor 5 wrong. He is not a lore master. Agree with a lot of what you said, man. Agree with a lot of what you said. So again, thank you to everybody here in the chat. Canada Drive for $2. You're the MVP of Friday Night Tights. Well, fuck. I will take that because there are so many awesome people at Friday Night Tights. It's such an honor to be on there with Gary and Az. And no, I'm not Jeremy. I see Jeremy all the fucking time. And of course, Jeremy. Quarter Black Garrett comes on. Odin comes on. Comics Division. Tom's on there. And we have, I get introduced to such cool people. Lauren Chen is coming on next week. I've been listening to Lauren Chen for fucking ever. So that'll be really cool. And I'm really looking forward to what the future holds for Geeks and Gamers, what the future holds for Friday Night Tights. Because you know what? It's looking fucking bright. 979 people in here to talk about Gina Carano fighting back. Because that's what it is all about, right? This is the reason when I made that first video about Gina, right? When I made that first video about Gina, I said she refuses to kneel. She's fighting because she is a fighter. And all along the way, she has never bent the knee. She has never been a coward. She's never done any of this, never taken any of it back. You know what? Gina Carano could have apologized and just stopped posting, and she would still be working for Star Wars, a massive franchise. For a lot of people, they think that that would be the right move. To be honest with you, they think that's the okay thing for them to do. For a lot of people that really don't place a lot of value in their morals, that would be the right thing to do. Not for Gina Carano. She's standing up for what she's believing in, and now she has freed herself. And honestly, the support and love that she is going to get is going to outweigh what being there would have done, right? Not being yourself, hiding, kneeling, cucking to these people. It is not worth it. More people need to do exactly what Gina Carano has done and say, you know what? I'm going to do my own fucking thing. I can do it without you. I have people that support me. That is what is going on. Take a look at this. After a spokesman confirmed Gina Carano had been fired from The Mandalorian, Carano announced a brand new film that is being produced by the Daily Wire. Again, the Disney spokesperson previously told Variety Carano had been fired for, quote, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. Flat out lies from Lucasfilm, lies from Disney Star Wars. This is disgusting, to be quite honest with you, and slanderous and defamatory. I hope she takes further action against them because that is bullshit. It'd be one thing to just say she no longer works here, which is all they had to say, but then they lied about what she said. The same way that the media is lying, the same way that far left echo chamber weirdos on Twitter are lying about her, the same way pieces of shit in chat are lying about her. Fuck these people. Fuck Star Wars. Fuck Lucasfilm for this. Disney, listen, Star Wars died in 2012 when Disney bought it. That's just the bottom line. And of course, we have the post again. Speaking with Deadline, Carano announced her new project with Daily Wire. She stated, the Daily Wire is helping make one of my dreams, to develop and produce my own film come true. I cried out and my prayer was answered. I'm sending out a direct message of hope to everyone living in fear of cancellation by the totalitarian mob. God, I have only just begun using my voice, which is now freer than ever before, and hope it inspires others to do the same. They can't cancel us if we don't let them. And that is a powerful message as we eclipse 1,000 people watching. Thank you to everyone. You are fucking awesome. Gina Carano refuses to kneel. She refuses to kneel. Keep in mind that Gina Carano has not once, ever said, you should vote for this political candidate. She has never once said, you should vote for this party. She has never once said, you shouldn't vote for this party. You shouldn't vote for that party. She's simply expressed some of her views. And that's intolerable. And not even like you're a bad person if you do this, you're a good person if you do that. Just things like, I wish that we had more information about this pandemic. I wish we had more information about all this stuff in the election. That's all she has said. And for that, they tried to cancel her. They tried to bury her. They wanted her in the street, starving, dead, unable to get work. And it doesn't end there. They want anyone associated with you like that. That's the next step in this. Anyone that does support you, you're going to get canceled too. But like I said earlier, it's so apt that just a few days before that, Gina Carano was tweeting out 300 images from King Leonidas throwing the spear at Xerxes. Did he take his head off? Did he kill him? Did he stop the Persian invasion? Did he stop everything that was happening? No. But what he did was show that the God King can bleed. And in that, making that stand inspired so many other people to get together and eventually repel the Persians, to stand up for themselves and unite. That is what this moment can be. Yeah, Gina Carano was fired from Star Wars. Gina Carano was on like Disney Plus's biggest show, the biggest thing going on in Star Wars. And she was probably the most popular person on there. Besides Baby Yoda, Gina Carano was more popular than anything else. And they let her go. That could be a huge thing for her future. This is someone coming up, a rising star in the industry. She decided to say, you know, fuck you. I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to stand up and be an inspiration to so many other people out there that may not have this platform, that may just be working a normal job, that are afraid to say something because they might get fired. That is huge. And what this could be, right? What this could be is a huge start of something big. Every time something like this happens, more people open their eyes. More people realize what's going on. This is a huge moment because now people are talking about this in these big, you know, like Steven Crowder, Louder with Crowder talking about it. Crowder, who gets more viewers watching him on a normal day than MSNBC does at the same time frame. That is a huge thing. Ben Shapiro and Daily Wire. Say what you will about Ben Shapiro. I have had huge criticisms of Ben Shapiro, right? Huge criticisms of Ben Shapiro for a lot of his takes on policy, for a lot of these things. Again, I don't talk about politics a lot on this channel because I don't want that for that to be what this channel is about. But I have big problems with a lot of things that Ben Shapiro has said or done. But he is someone who is letting someone speak their mind and embracing them and giving them a platform. Even when he himself said he didn't think that was a great analogy. So now the person that they are calling an anti-Semite in Gina Carano has now signed a deal and is working with one of the most prominent Jewish people in conservative news, right? Like that's where we're at. That's how ridiculous these people are that are trying to say she's an ist, she's a phobe, she's a whatever. She, after doing that, has now signed on to work with a very prominent Jewish person. What a shocker, right? That these people are completely wrong about everything. About everything, man. About everything. But let me get back to the super chats. Let me get back to the chat. I appreciate it. God, there are a lot of people in here today, aren't there? A lot of people I've never seen before. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Gene Flickner for $5. Keep up the great job. Thank you, Gene. I will do my best. I will try. I appreciate it. Blue-Eyed Scorpio for $2. Give me the link for membership. I don't know if you can do that, Steph, in chat. I know Steph is in here modding, but if you could put the link to the membership, because for some reason it's not working for Blue-Eyed Scorpio, but I do see it in there. So thank you. Let me check the Streamlabs really quick. Let me check the Streamlabs. Siberian Dreams, when you hit the 50,000 subs, you should eat 50,000 subs on screen. I don't even know if I could do that. Listen, I eat a lot of pizza. I eat a lot of stuff. I do not. I don't know if I could eat 50,000 subs. That seems extreme to me. Just a little extreme, but maybe. Siberian Dream for another $1. Since Grogu and now Cara Dune are gone, what do you think the Mandalorian's numbers being? I think Disney wanted several TV shows, an ambition they haven't earned. Even Stargate and Star Trek at their prime couldn't handle more than 2. This is huge. This is the only thing going on. So you got to remember that they're not coming out in theaters really. So this is everything for the next couple of years. I don't think it's necessarily too ambitious, but I do think that Pedro Pascal under the mask can't carry the show. He's an uninteresting character. Nobody gives a fuck about Din Djarin except these weird stands out there. Like the two most interesting people in that show are gone now. Baby Yoda and Gina Carano, Cara Dune. So get fucked, I guess. I don't know what they're going to do. But they'll figure out something, I'm sure. They'll figure out something. They're Disney. They'll get it. Don't worry. And then, you know, after Gina Carano announced this, after Gina Carano said, hey, I'm doing this, guys, she tweeted this out. I thought this was great. This is just the beginning. Welcome to the rebellion. People freaked out about this, right? People freaked the fuck out because this was never about her job with Disney. This was never about her job with Star Wars. Because if, as so many of these people in chat, These people who are here right now saying she has her freedom of speech. It's Disney's right to do that. They were allowed to do it. She should have been fired. All you fucking people, all you losers saying that shit right now. Why was everybody so mad when she got rehired? Why was everybody so furious that she announced that she is already doing something else? The answer is simple. It was never about representing Disney. It was never about people associating her with the Disney brand. It was about her politics. It was about what people think her politics are, what her viewpoint is. And that is not an approved way of thinking for the elites, for the people in control. It is not okay for them to think like that. That is why she was canceled. That is why she was fired. That is why her talent agency dropped her. Nothing to do with, oh, well, you know, Disney has whatever right to do what they want. Why was there outrage? Why are you outraged when she gets another job? If that was really the case. If you really didn't want her canceled, then why was it? I think we all know. We all know. Tiffany says, so glad Disney fired her. Now she can move on to greater things. That's what I think too. And I think that you have to have perspective about this. Now, you have to have perspective. And I know it's difficult because the idea that someone goes to Star Wars, making a film for Disney, or a show for Disney, to making something for the Daily Wire, those are not the same thing, right? But when you talk about your morals, your values, who you are as a person, being able to be free and speak your mind is worth a lot. It is worth a lot. Trust me. So like you said, she can move on to greater things. And she has like the undying support of a huge section of people. There are people that sign up for Daily Wire memberships just because she became a part of it. There are people that are going to watch that movie just because she's a part of it, regardless of what it's about, anything, because they are fans and supporters of her for standing up to the mob, right? So they made a martyr out of her. This is going to be huge for her. I guarantee it. Big mistake from Lucasfilm. Lego Darth Jar Jar for $2. Really want to see Black Suit Superman versus Darkseid. Oof. Ooh. I hope so too, man. I hope so too. I mean, why's my thing doing that? You guys see that? Could be a pendulum swing. That's what I'm, or at least where the pendulum stops. How about that? It might not be the pendulum swing, but it may be finally where the pendulum stops and starts moving back. You never know. You never know. But I want to see that too, Lego Darth Jar Jar. We got Mexican Iron Man in the house. Mexican Iron Man for $15. Thank you, brother. Hail Mexican Iron Man over there with Echo Base Network. You are the man. We bring diversity here. We got a Mexican Iron Man. Not even Marvel has done that. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Mexican Iron Man. The Lock for £5. I don't know. If the Snyder Cut will be good. What is certain, though, is that we're getting a conclusion to the Snyder trilogy that won't be woke bullshit. Yes, 100% The Lock. And I think that's an important thing to note about Zack Snyder. One thing I love about Zack Snyder movies is that there is not a focus on, there's definitely allegories to talking about things happening in the current day. But what there isn't is, hey, you should be ashamed if you think like this or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not like beating you over the head with things and trying to make you feel like a piece of shit if you feel one way or the other. It's simply these stories that are said that do make you think about things going on in current day and how they could relate to this world. But it is not in some sort of drive to tell you how you're supposed to be. And that's one thing that I really enjoy about Zack Snyder movies. And even when you have things like, say like a Perry Ellis race swap, no one even cared because that was like, wow, that's a great casting. That is a perfect casting. And that's what it's all about when it comes to Zack Snyder. And that's one of the reasons that I really enjoy what he's doing so much. Star Citizen will be the new Star Wars. Maybe. Dude. Langford. Gina said she'd love to work with Zack Snyder. She replied to Steph, actually, I believe. And said, you should work with Zack Snyder. And she said, I'd love to sometime. And yeah, I don't know if that could ever happen or if there's a possibility, but yeah, that would be really cool. We're going to talk about Snyder. We are going to get our Snyder porn on later in the chat, guys. I think you guys are going to dig it. It's what we've been talking about all day. I've made 4 videos about the Snyder Cut today. Today, I've made 4 videos about it because of how excited I am. Couple more super chats coming in, and then I will check the Streamlabs. Where did it go? Valiant Renegade, thank you so much. Hey, Ryan, quick drop in to support the chain. Jeremy's still salty. I one-upped his bid donation during the drunk charity stream. Lol, JK. Yeah, dude, like, Jeremy dropped $1,000, I think. It was either 1,000 or 1,001, and then you came in and dropped in 1,002, or just $1 above that. That was fucking perfect. You got him, dude. That was awesome. Anthony Arribas for $10. Hey, what's up, brother? Haven't been able to catch your streams, but I want to try to watch your vids when I can, like the Snyder Cut reaction. My guy had this. I had the same reaction as you. You're gonna review it? Oof. Am I gonna review? Am I gonna review Zack Snyder's Justice League? Does a bear shit in the woods? Does the Pope pray? Of fucking course. Yes, I'm going to review Zack Snyder's Justice League when it comes out, March 18th, ladies and gentlemen. And when it comes to these things, you know, when it comes to these things that you love, that you like to see people doing, whether we're talking about the Snyder Cut of Justice League or whether we're talking about Gina Carano going over to Daily Wire, you have to speak with your wallet. It goes both ways. If you're going to try to show Disney with your wallet what it means, then if you get something that you like, you want to enjoy, you want to see more of, you have to support that thing with your wallet. So I do implore you guys, if you can. I know people love to pirate stuff. I do too, especially when it comes to Disney now. But if it's something you enjoy, I think that really, you know, showing them with your wallet, with your voice, are all very important things to do to show people, you know, that this is what you want from a company. This is what you want. This is the kind of content you want. It's really important. So thank you, Anthony. Tareev, Canadian $5 retracts the message. Not sure what you said, but thank you, Tareev. Zach Richmond for $5. If Snyder was given the go-ahead to make a Justice League sequel, who would you want to see as Green Lantern? You know, Tom Cruise was in talks to play Green Lantern, to play Hal Jordan. But evidently the original plan would have been for him to die at some point. And I guess Tom Cruise wasn't down for that. These are all just rumors I heard. I don't know if Tom Cruise would do that, but I think that Tom Cruise would make a great older Hal Jordan. I've always thought that he's not tall enough, but he doesn't have to be. They got camera work to fix that. But yeah, that's who I'd like to see. And then them introduce like an Idris Elba. I know Idris Elba. Oh, black guy. Idris Elba should play him. Yeah, of course. But like an Idris Elba, Jon Stewart, be dope as fuck. But of course, Idris Elba is already going to be in Suicide Squad. So now we know that's not going to happen. So now I'm just talking out of my ass. But multiverse, right? Multiverse. Smooth Jam California for £5. Gina Carano is a real-life hero. Something that pussy Pedro Pascal could only dream of. More interested in seeing her film than any more Disney Star Wars. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. T-Rev. Oh, okay. T-Rev is Trevor Fishbein Patron. Thank you, man. Thank you. It's good to know that, T-Rev. Now I understand who you are. Got it. Thank you, bro. T-Rev, Canadian $5. Gina Carano should be Big Barda. Hell yeah. Gina Carano should be Big Barda. That would be like a perfect cast-in. Roger Haynes, Canadian $2. Thumbs up. Thank you. And let me head over to the Streamlabs. Boom, boom, boom. If you were one Jedi Master or Sith Lord you think could beat someone from the Green Lantern Corps, who's the Jedi or Sith? Who's the Green Lantern? Where do you stand on Mogo versus Zanoma Seacut? I've never heard this Green Lantern versus Jedi and Sith shit. I think that Darth Bane can handle basically any Green Lantern. Because Darth Bane has one of the biggest power, like forces of will in the fucking galaxy. And he draws like on his own anger and fear. So he could channel a lot of other things that could potentially impact a Green Lantern, of any Green Lantern, other than maybe Hal Jordan. So yeah, maybe Darth Bane. Zanoma Seacut. Mogo can move too, can't it? I don't know. I have to think about that a little more. I have to think about that a little bit more. The chat keeps freezing because you guys are blowing it up so much. That is absolutely insane. But now I think what we're going to do, we've talked about Gina, we've talked about Disney, we've talked about what she is doing. That is awesome. And it turned in from something so bad, from her getting canceled and fired, to something awesome with a new opportunity. And that's kind of where I'm coming from and how I'm viewing it. Anthony Arribas, I think it's time fans start mobilizing and organizing to combat these far left woke cultists, bro. The pronoun people do it. We should too. I think that uniting together, right, is important. I think it really is. We've seen it with the Snyder Cut fandom, how important it is. I 100% agree with you, Anthony. 100% agree. And of course, right? Of course, the Pedro stands, right? The couple people that love Pedro Pascal that hang out here in the chat again because they don't have anything else to do. Ain't nobody fucking them on Valentine's Day. I guarantee that, despite all the hearts in this profile picture, this ugly motherfucker. Gina got what she fucking deserves. First of all, man, if you're going to censor it, you're really going to censor it? You're going to censor the word fuck? No one respects you here for doing that. No one respects you here for doing that. That makes you a pussy to censor yourself. What the fuck is your problem? If that didn't tell everybody right there that you're a cocksucking bitch, what will? What will? Man, that is just sad, dude. That is just sad. But let me get some people on here because I want to talk Snyder Cut. I want to talk this stuff because it's awesome. And a lot of people are celebrating what's going on today. I got to find the damn this chat. Whoops. I put the wrong thing in. I put my Streamlabs in it. Everybody's going to think I'm asking them for money. Whoops. Here, let's put this in there. Let's put the actual link. And I know you might have missed him on Sports Wars, but Uche is a big Snyder Cut guy as well. Right? A big Snyder Cut guy as well. Oh, you know what? We forgot. You know, L-Dub, don't worry. We'll remember that. We'll remember that. Oh, Mexican Iron Man, you want to come on? Yeah, I'll give you a link, buddy. I'll give you a link. I will. We'll see if Uche can come on. I don't know if he will be able to or not. I know he was talking a little bit earlier. Get Mahler on. He'll talk Snyder with you all day. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. I know he hates those movies. I know he despises them. And let me find Mexican Iron Man here for 10 minutes. Mexican Iron Man. I'm interested to hear his thoughts. I don't really know too much about what he thinks about this. Never heard him talk too much about it. But Andres Fernandez for 100 ARS. Hi, Ryan. Frack Jeremy. Can you detail how Justice League Part 2 would have been? Was it on Earth conquered by Darkseid and Batman sacrificing himself for Lois Lane when the Flash goes in the past? That, I think, is really what a lot of people think that it would have been. Yeah, it's tough to really get a hey, this is 100% what it would have been, but that's kind of what we expect it would have been had that been the case. We do have this storyboard, which is how part 1 was supposed to end. Batman, Flash dragging the pieces of Cyborg and a couple other just like rebellion fighters in these dunes with like Metropolis just broken, Wayne Manor burnt down, 5 years into the future after Darkseid has taken over Earth. So, it's going to be interesting to see what this movie and what this movie's ending is. Because I don't think it's necessarily going to be that. I think it's going to be retooled a little bit. But I don't know. I don't know. All right. Where are we? Boom. And we do have someone that I know will like to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League. Mara, how are you?
I don't know how many times I watched the trailer today. Remember, people, it's the same movie with just 4 minutes of extra footage.
I know, right? Yeah. It's just gonna be an extended edition. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you say. We've seen a lot of this movie already and heard a lot about this movie, and we still don't fucking know what's going to happen.
No.
That is the thing. Oh, and I am so glad I got you on. Now I see Darkseid in the background. Look at that.
Yep. Like, we know certain things, but not enough for us to know like everything is going to go on in like 4 hours. And that's even before the credits. So it's not like 4 hours including the credits. It's 4 hours before the credits. And it's
we got a couple big super chats that I didn't even see came in. They just went through. Thank you guys so much. One of them is from Jeremy. I got to find this to highlight it, actually. I didn't see this. D-Day Cobra, $25. Don't give Ryan money. He's a grifter. That is 100% correct. Listen, the people here in chat, the Christopher Barkers, the soy people in this chat that want to come here and hate because, again, they can't get any pussy or dick, in Christopher Barker's case, on Valentine's Day. So they are here, right? Because they have nothing better to do. Well, they hate it when you give me money. So just don't do it. They despise it. Thank you, Jeremy, for alerting everyone of that. A couple more, including a $50 one. Holy cow. WZRBS for 5. Ryan, you're wrong about everything. I challenge you to Greek wrestling. Take off your pants and get the olive oil. Who the fuck are you? Like, I've never seen super chats from him before. And at first he was like, you have a small package. And now it's this.
yeah. So is it just the pants? So you can leave your shirt and socks on, or is that how it works?
Yeah, I think so. I can wear socks. I can wear shoes. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thaddeus Maximus for $50. Holy shit. Thank you so much. You are a paragon of humility that thin-skinned wokus could learn something from. The Kinel's junk themed super chats always make me laugh out loud. You take it like a man. From a fellow EU fan, thanks for the entertainment. Now quit griping. Thank you, Thaddeus. Expanded Universe brother right there. I appreciate it. Highly recommend checking out theexpandeduniverse.com. I just put a video up there talking about my newest aims in collecting Star Wars Expanded Universe stuff. So highly recommend checking them out. And yeah, listen, you gotta, when you get the parody accounts, it's a good thing. You know what I mean? It is a good thing. It means you're doing something right. So I think it's fucking funny as shit. Of course, I'm going to react upset to it, but yeah, it's awesome. The Lock for another £5. The prequel trilogy experienced a new wave of appreciation after the sequels. The Snyderverse might see something similar once the NCU gets going. I agree. And, you know, let me hear your take on this, Mara. You know, for me, one of the reasons that I was really enjoying and wanted to see more from the Snyderverse DCEU before they tried to make it Marvel light was because it was something different. Because I was a little bit tired of the Marvel formula. And I think a lot of people are getting tired of it now. What's your take?
I mean, I checked out of the MCU right after Doctor Strange, and a lot of it is partly due to the formulaic storytelling. Because I felt like I was going into each film, especially post Guardians of the Galaxy, and go, okay, 3, 2, 1 joke. Okay, 3, 2, 1 this. Like three, like, you know, I'm calling basically like all 3 acts and where the story was going to go. Meanwhile, I've always been a DC fan, so I like that DC is darker than Marvel. That's just my preference. I've always been a Batman fan. I've always been a Flash and Green Lantern fan. And for Warner Brothers to try to emulate Marvel means they had no fucking clue the property they had underneath them with DC. They had no idea what DC was about. And even with Jeff Johns coming in and screwing up with Joss Whedon, and we got Justice League. I'm like, Jeff Johns, you work for DC. Why are you doing this shit?
Yeah. Is there a dog howling?
My dog.
A fucking werewolf?
She howls a bit.
All right. I was like, I didn't know if it was me or like a pipe was about to burst or something. What the fuck's going on?
My dog is having a little howl fest downstairs. So.
Yeah. And I 100% agree, because what we saw happen with Zack Snyder's DCEU was they were like, oh, we've got a couple people saying that they think it might be too dark, because a lot of people were comparing it to Marvel. But I don't think they realized there's a big group of people that were ready for something different and for a change. And so they were like, let's hammer Suicide Squad into Guardians of the Galaxy, and let's hammer Justice League into the Avengers.
Yeah.
And both of them weren't as good as what they were trying to emulate from Marvel, and it wasn't supposed to be. So it's, you know, it's sad.
Never was supposed to be. I mean, like, and you could definitely tell, as I was pointed out to include Steph, My Nerdy Home, and like just look at the initial teaser trailer we got for Suicide Squad, and then look at the official trailer we got not that much longer after that, and you could see the tonal shift. And I'm like, do they not know what the Suicide Squad is about? Like, these are the people, like I was saying on my live stream last night, that they would send in when either the superheroes themselves either couldn't or didn't want to go in, like there's a certain situation. Like, these are the dirty Suicide Squad is the equivalent of Dirty Dozen. You send them in, and if they screw up, you throw them under the bus, as Amanda Waller says. That's what they do. They're not Boy Scouts or anything like that. So
they're not doing dance-offs to save the fucking universe.
No. And so why are you trying to make them like Guardians of the Galaxy? They're not that.
Yeah, and it's because they were just trying to emulate something without realizing what it might do to the fans that were there to see that. And I will say this with Zack Snyder's Justice League, and we do have a couple people I think that will be coming on. Speaking of, Uche Waneri, he's repping the Batman with me today. What's up, brother?
Yes, sir. What's up? What's going on?
Not much, man.
Happy Snyder Cut Day, guys.
Happy Valentine's Day. Not because of people that we love, but because of movies that we love. And something that we really hope that we will love is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Mara said she doesn't know how many times she's watched it today. I know that I have made 4 videos about it today, so I've watched the minimum of a minimum of 4 times, probably a lot more. But Uche, what were your thoughts? Because I think you may have. Well, I didn't see you tweeting about it till a little bit later. What were your thoughts when you got up and saw it?
I didn't get a chance to see it until about 4, and I mean, come on, man, it was epic. As anybody who's followed Zack Snyder's work knows, he goes epic with his films, and he went epic with this one in a way that we all were hoping before the whole situation with Justice League. So I really, honestly, I mean, I didn't even say a word when I watched it the first time. I was just sitting there like, oh, wow.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Well, like, I guess that's not true, but like my first reaction, I was just like sitting there, and then someone had to be like, oh my God, you know, but like, and then all the subsequent ones, I'm like, okay, well, here's this coming. Watch out for this. Watch out for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
it's just good to see, like, and one of the things that I really, just loved about seeing this was that it actually shows that this is a very different story than what we saw in 2017. 2017 was like a bad mashup of like it's like almost like Power Rangers-esque Justice League getting together, where it's like just these little clips, all these things with all these little different comedic quips that they threw in there that just really fell flat. And with like this one,
like, oh, I'm definitely bleeding. Like,
oh my goodness. You know, when that happened in the theater, I mean, I don't know if there's ever been a time in my life as a fan of comic books, and particularly a fan of Batman, where I literally sat there when he said, "Oh, something's definitely bleeding," and I was just like,
for real.
So they broke Batman.
Dude, that moment, and the I don't not like you, that with him and Superman, those are the like 2 most cringe things that clearly show the dude has no that's not what people want from Batman. You know what I mean? Yeah. But should we just watch it? Should we watch it one more time on Vero?
Yeah, yes, please.
Zack Snyder, happy 214. And if you don't know, 214 minutes was the original runtime for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Of course, as we've talked about, they have but they have shot additional sequences that add up to about 4 minutes on top of that, which you're going to see one of them in the end. And if you haven't seen it, we're not going to spoil it for you. We're just going to get to the end here. We might get a claim. Hopefully I don't actually block it or whatever, but we'll see. Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
This scream.
Yeah.
This scream wakes the mother boxes.
Yeah, like you could hear it as it like reverberates. And
Out in the dark, among the stars.
Oh, look at that shot.
The god is dead.
I had a dream.
Nightmare.
Almost like a premonition.
This shot.
Hail dark side. Oh, hail dark
That
side.
shit is so tough right there.
Oh,
Fucking blood.
yes.
I'm building an alliance to defend ourselves.
How do you know your team's strong enough? If you can't bring down the charging bull and don't wave the red cape at it,
That line's sick. We're gonna talk about that.
Oh, look at that.
And even if it takes you the rest of your life,
I love how it harkens back to Man of Steel
find out what that reason is.
right here.
First flight.
Yes.
2.0.
They said the age of heroes would never come again.
Oh, look at that.
It will. It has to.
And then this shot is what blew the internet up afterwards.
We live in a society where honor is a distant memory. Isn't that right? Batman.
God dang.
Oh, Bills. That's the motherfucking Joker we should have gotten in Suicide Squad.
Yeah. There's Jared Leto's Joker. And like this scene, so this is in the nightmare scenario, in the nightmare sequence, this potential future that maybe we'll see it. Maybe we will see them lose in this movie and have to fix it. I don't know. I don't know what to expect at this point. But
Yeah,
you can see
I think-
Cyborg in the back.
Yeah.
I actually think the nightmare sequence might be like a big, I feel like it might be like the middle portion of the movie.
I know.
Yeah.
Like it might be like an extended like 15 or 20 minutes.
Which is
Because
crazy to think about.
They show like activity in the post dark side Earth where like they've already conquered Earth and they continue, and there's like, you know, the scenes where you see the ships just flying over the landscape and, you know, Batman's walking, you know, in the wasteland of the city. I mean, I feel like that's got to be, you know, those have got to be multiple scenes where there's a short arc, maybe a really short arc that kind of plays out. But they did say that Snyder said that this was like a kind of a trippy sequence between him and Joker. So it could be playing a little bit with that Arkham Asylum or Arkham, what was it? Arkham, the second Arkham Asylum game or after Joker's dead, where it's like he's hallucinating and Joker's like.
So not Arkham Knight, but Arkham or Arkham, sorry. Not Arkham City, but Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight. Yeah. Arkham Knight, where Joker's kind of in his head. Maybe Joker's in his head here. And it's kind of them having conversations.
I think, this is what I think. I think that Batman, Cyborg, and Flash are having to team up with anyone they can, including Deathstroke and Joker. That's what I think.
And I think that's a fucking great team up. Joker, Deathstroke, Batman.
Well, Magniello, like specifically requested Deathstroke have like a mohawk in the nightmare sequence.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be seeing him in the nightmare sequence.
Now, and that's what I think. Like, we still don't really even know like what this movie is going to entail and how it's going to work, which I think is awesome. Keep in mind, this is one of those 4 additional minutes. This is part of the new content that was added to this movie. This is Ben Affleck from like 4 months ago.
Yeah,
like
that's new.
You tell me this motherfucker doesn't look like he can still play Batman. Give me some more Batfleck, motherfuckers. But. So, like, just to go through the trailer a little bit, and I'll get to super chats, guys. Give me about 5 minutes. Get to the trailer. I'll get to some super chats. You guys are fucking killing it. We have 1,000 people in the chat. which is just insane.
Redneck Trekker, I know you were joking about Captain Marvel showing up to save and like saying like, oh, it's the wrong cinematic universe. However, technically Shazam used to be called Captain Marvel before Captain Marvel was existence in the Marvel side, so Shazam could show up. I don't know. You could be that still could work because that's what Shazam was.
Yeah. So the death of Superman, right, and his scream, like this, it like Lex Luthor says, and I say a lot of people don't know about Lex Luthor, about Jesse Eisenberg. I agree. Wasn't really down with the way he was portrayed. However, some of what he said, especially this line, the bell's already been rung, right?
Yeah.
Like they're coming because they know that there's no protectors anymore. This moment lets them know that Earth is ripe for the taking. And evidently this scream actually activates the mother boxes.
Go ahead.
I'll just say the scream reverberates all through, where they were fighting, which is in between Gotham and Metropolis.
And it's a sound wave that, its origins at Superman, right? But the sound wave goes out like a bell sound wave, just da-doom, da-doom, da-doom.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, the foreshadowing is obviously playing out here. I mean, I personally didn't mind Jesse Eisenberg's Luthor. I understood where it was coming from, but I can respect anybody who doesn't really feel it. But I mean, that part where he made that comment about the bell being rung was pretty dope, and seeing it play out is even better.
Well, see, to me, what I think, the way I viewed it is, right, the way this universe works is it's some characters who are like at the tail end of what they're doing and some characters at the beginning of what they're doing. We're used to seeing all these characters in their prime, but kind of what this is a Superman who's just starting and a Luthor who's just starting and a Luthor who has this grand plan and it doesn't fucking work and he gets humbled and it like changes him. That's kind of how this is the origins of Lex Luthor. That's kind of how I see it playing out.
And there was still like I wasn't exactly entirely down with Jesse Eisenberg like from some moments in BVS. However, there were, I think, more than none where I was like he was just like so calm in his delivery of like certain lines that you could see the sociopathic nature. Like, it
made him feel colder.
Yes, it was like cold. I was like, okay, this is something that like when he gets older, you will not want to tick off.
Yeah. Project Piper Customs. Will we see any more Green Lantern? I think we will. We have to see a Green Lantern of some sort in this movie. Well, I don't know who it's going to be. I don't fucking know.
Well, what in the history lessons from Justice League, there were Green Lanterns fighting with the Atlanteans and the Amazons. I remember that part. So we might see Green Lanterns there definitely. However, there might see Hal Jordan. Well, whether we see him as Green Lantern, I don't know. But or at least. That's my guess. Is Hal Jordan based on the actor who was hired to play a certain role for Zack Snyder's Justice League?
I've heard he won't be in the movie though.
If they cut him out, I feel so bad for the guy if they cut him out.
We'll see what happens. What happens.
I'm wondering, because one person we didn't see in the trailer was Martian Manhunter.
Correct.
But we know he's in the movie, so I'm really excited to see how that one pops out.
Like people we know are in this movie, Martian Manhunter, the Atom. I don't think we're actually going to see the Atom in action. I think it's just going to be Ryan Choi is the Atom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're going to see his name and he's going to be introduced. But we also have more diversity to add on to the panel. Mexican Iron Man. What's up, Mexican Iron Man?
All right. So it took me a little longer because I wanted to make sure that I could prove my diverse heritage here. So here we go. Hold on. Aha! I put the helmet on for you.
There we go.
Uche, check this out. So, Mexican Iron Man.
I see you.
Mexican,
That's a winner.
Iron Man. It's like a Christmas present. Ryan, I'm here to let you know that there's been a vote, and your channel has been named most stunning and brave channel on YouTube, and it has to do with your embracement of diversity and inclusion.
There you go. That's really what I was going for. That's why we did this. I've got a woman, I've got a black man, and I've got a Mexican Iron Man.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go into transition, bro. That's just not happening today. I love you, but that's just not happening. I'm just, no. I may go to the kitchen to get something to eat, but that's the only transitioning I'm doing.
I got a question for you, Mexican Iron Man. What are your overall thoughts of the Snyder Cut trailer as we're working our way through it here?
I screamed louder than the end of The Mandalorian when I saw the end of this trailer. We won, Uche!
Yes, sir!
Victory! Victory is at hand, sir. Victory is at hand, and it was a miserable, tough road, brother. And by the way, thank you, Uche, for fighting the good fight, being on the front lines, being incredibly articulate about why this needed to happen, what the original theatrical release was missing. Some of your videos where you really break it down, you know, the difference between the extended cut and the theatrical release. You know, I mean, there's even that one guy. What was his name? That guy on YouTube. He does the Why I Love or Why I Hate videos about movies. He even even a year later changed it to Why I Love. You know, when you look
like why you're wrong about Batman vs Superman or something. That one.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah, he was scathing the first time around, and then a year later he did a really good job. Not as a good job as Ryan and Uche, however.
Yeah, I've seen that video. That's a great video, actually. He uses all of his arguments that he used on why he didn't like BVS and talked about like a year later rewatching it why he's growing to really enjoy it. So
I mean, how do you react to
wine.
How do you feel? I mean, because I know you read the original source comics. I mean,
well, look, man, like this universe, I feel like, and I think Ryan agrees with this. Like, for those of us who have been DC fans like all our lives, like the entire mythos behind the pantheon of DC characters is gods among men. It's you have these godlike characters who almost literally represent the gods of Olympus, who are among mankind, and the kind of things that can play out, whether good or bad, because of these great powerful beings being among humanity and being protectors of humanity. DC's biggest story arcs deal with a lot of mature subject matter, like a lot of more much more serious subject matter. So I know for myself, growing up and watching DC movies and seeing these characters be portrayed, it always felt, outside of 89 Batman and before you get into Nolan's Batman series, these characters in these movies and the industry itself, as it pertained to Hollywood, was treated like a joke. It was like slapstick. And I hated that, because I knew that Batman's not going around on skates. He doesn't have nipples on his suit, and he's not carrying a Batman credit card when he goes out. Like, what?
My boy Yeti Cast did a slice and dice sarcastics of that movie, and he has that in there when he brings up the Amex card. It's so weird, like looking back at it now, how God, it's just so sad.
Like, how was that allowed to be a part of the image of Batman?
Yeah.
So as we move forward and we started getting into the Nolan verse, and we saw what a serious take on a DC character could be like.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder, after coming off of Dawn of the Dead, Watchmen 300, that kind of gravitas that he brings to filmmaking and the seriousness of DC's characters and their story arcs in general, really, to me, was a match made in heaven when they brought him in to start with Man of Steel. And Man of Steel, to me, it was a masterpiece of a film. It's a masterpiece of a comic book movie. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
If you're being, it's subjective for me to say my opinion on that. But
Ryan, where has Uche been all my life?
He's playing in the NFL.
But he started something with that no other director has been able to kind of bring to the silver screen with Superman.
Right.
We have the Donner films, but again, while there was some seriousness in the first two Donner films, we saw where Superman headed, in the same arc as Batman. Mm-hmm. Look at this, John.
Really, Jay?
Really, Jay?
We saw where he headed.
I just want to touch on that real fast, Uche. Like you talked, one of the big things that people were complaining about with Man of Steel, like when they say that's not my Superman, is that he's like not acting like the Boy Scout in his prime Superman we saw with the Donner films. Yes, Donner films in like 1978 and so forth. So they're comparing that Superman, Man of Steel Superman, who's not Superman yet. It's called Man of Steel because he's learning. So I want to ask them, why is it okay to have multiple Batman origin films where he's learning to be Batman, but we can't have Superman learn to be Superman? Because if he automatically knows the powers when he's growing up on Earth away from Krypton, Wouldn't that kind of make him a Gary Stu in a way? Like, he's not perfect.
Brilliant.
Like,
That's a very good That's a very good observation.
People just wanted him to be immediately omnipotent, like, you know, this perfect being. When, you know, in the reality of it, a kid that would have had those kind of abilities in our real world would have been a very isolated figure amongst society. Because
he's been hiding his powers. He hasn't been using them. He just learns how to fly in that first flight sequence, and all of a sudden he's fighting people with his same power set. You know what I mean?
Who are military
all their lives,
genetically engineered to just do one thing.
Yeah, and we do have another guest here. I know it's a DC celebration stream, but we got 2 Marvel characters. The multiverse of Marvel.
Iron Man convention.
This is not the Iron Man convention, sir. I believe you're in the wrong location. You are wearing a mask, however, so you'd be safe.
My cousin Tony, we obviously know Tony's not with us any longer, but this is over here to my right. This is Jay from Florida, recently out on parole, here to join us in an Iron Man suit. Good job on your successes last week, brother. Good job. As always, I'm proud of you, and you know I'm your huge fan, and you know every move you make, you know, just I know you didn't get into this for everything that's happened to you, but embrace it, and we love you, and we're so proud of you.
Yes, we are. Oh, he's going off camera.
Jay, he hates compliments. He cannot. This guy cannot take a compliment. I've known it for Jay. You cannot take a compliment.
Okay, let me. Jay is awesome. We put on an incredible stream. Raised.
I'm going to redo my camera so I can get higher. Hold on.
Okay, $43,000 for human trafficking, which is badass. A lot of good things going on as far as raising money for different fan groups. We talking about the Snyder Cut that's raised over $500,000 for suicide prevention. You know, Jay raising $43,000 for human trafficking. All awesome things. And speaking of money, let me read some money. Clifton 3D becomes a member. Thank you, Clifton. Project Piper Customs also becomes a member. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Comic Book Steal Deals for 3. Jeremy is a Southern snake oil salesman. Oh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Will Gentry for £2. Just letting you know, I will never give you money. Thank you for the £2, Will. Appreciate it. Blue North Bear for 2. Hire a horror movie director for the DCU aesthetic. It just depends what story you're telling. You know, if you're telling a story about the new gods and you know, them taking over Earth, I think that kind of look is what you're going for, or even some Batman stories. If you're telling a Shazam story like we saw, probably not. The lighter tone works for Shazam, even though a horror person directed that, ironically enough. New Bomb Turk for $5. New Green Lantern movie. Bill Hader as Hal, Tyrese Gibson as Jon Stewart, and Tom Hardy as Guy Gardner. Tyrese Gibson is the one who is in there for Tyrese Gibson is the one who is in there for Jon Stewart early on.
Yeah.
And Jeremy
must have Bill Hader for Hal
$50 by now. You know how much he sent me yesterday? $1.
$1? Yeah. That's about right. Well, he was on the stream though. Mm-hmm. He paid like that. He paid you in coming on the stream. Jeremy for $10. Nice to see Drunk 3PO on here. It is nice to see Jay. Jay did his own Snyder Cut reaction. Mm-hmm. Let's take a pause there. Jay, what was your, you know, I watched the video you put out. I don't think you've been following along. You're more of a Marvel guy who just kind of likes to see the excitement of what's going on in the DC fandom. What was your impression?
I didn't know the Joker was going to be in it. That was cool.
Yeah.
The black suit from Superman looked awesome. And you know, the Joker thing was really cool. So I didn't expect that at all. So seeing him in there. So I was very like the scene where I don't know these guys' names because I don't know the DC. All right, the guy who bowed down before Darkseid. Who is that?
Steppenwolf.
That was awesome. You can see my face when I watched that. I was like, dang, that's like takes the movie to a whole new level. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be cool. I think I'm going over to like family's house and stuff, and we're all gonna watch it and like have a cookout and everything. So it's only a month away, huh?
Yeah, March 18th. I would love for them to release it in IMAX.
You think
Yeah,
he'll
that would
release
be
it early
dope.
like
I
he
would
did the
love to see
trailer?
that
He
in
might be like,
IMAX.
"Hey, another surprise, March 1st."
No,
I don't think that's
no,
happening.
no.
I don't think that's
No.
happening. That'd be a little crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
Y'all
Cal-
say no.
well,
That wouldn't be smart at all.
well, actually, it would be smart because it right now it's coming out one day before Falcon Winter Soldier. So I actually think it would be a good idea to do it a little early, but I don't think that's going to happen. Cal G for 2. Uche, what's good, man? You still hating on Brady?
What?
Fuck Tom Brady.
There you go.
Whoa, Uche. Whoa.
What?
I'm not saying I disagree with you, but I'm just like,
Play no kid show.
This ain't a kid show. That's for goddamn sure.
okay.
Mexican Iron Man's used to hanging out on Echo Base Network.
See,
right?
they have a
Coach
no
and Nick.
words. I've been traumatized. Friday night, I'm with Doomcock. Okay, and we know where that goes. I probably dropped 187 F-bombs on a 10-minute rant. I went off for like 10, 15 minutes on the channel. Dropped 100, God knows how many F-bombs. Saturday, I go to Echo Base Network where they have a no words list. Literally.
Yeah, I know. I said this.
We don't want to use the no words when we're trying to express our opinions. We want the folks to not feel that this is too harsh of a channel. We want everybody to love each other.
This is Coach. Welcome to Echo Base Network. We do not say the word fuck here.
Nope.
Yeah.
I got in trouble with saying Hellfire Tarnation the other day. Anyway.
I love Nick. I love Coach. They're great guys. But it is true. That is not that's not my kind of show and stream.
I love 3 o'clock on Sundays. Yeah. I love watching these idiots try to hit on Ryan for lies that don't exist.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Zach Richmond for 5. And just like that, nobody cares about Thanos anymore. I'll say that people are still going to care about Thanos and the Infinity War like saga. That's pretty legendary as far as like 2010s. That kind of defines the 2010s when it comes to superhero movies. They had their 10-year run, but Darkseid could be he is better than Thanos in my opinion, comic book level.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about from the movies, he's a completely different animal as far as his motivation.
Oh, comic book level Thanos is not even movie.
No, it's
what
not.
What the freak, Jeremy? Comic book level Thanos is not even movie quality Thanos. Like that's the crazy thing.
Yeah, movie Thanos is actually and look, I don't even like read Marvel comics, so I wouldn't be able to tell you anything about Thanos like really in Marvel.
Thanos was a simp. Thanos was a giant.
Yeah, he was chasing Lady Death.
Yeah, that's all he was.
Comics. That's what I know.
The whole balance thing was kind of like, oh, that's different, but they made it work.
That'd be like if instead of Darkseid, he just wants to rule the entire fucking universe. He wants to control everything. Instead of that, it would just be like he wanted to clap cheeks with.
He was like a trust fund baby.
Yeah.
No, I want to see Jeremy
get on your knees for Darkseid.
Yesterday, Jeremy and the amazing Lucas were going at it for like 5-6 minutes, and they were interrupting.
30-second timeout. 30-second timeout.
Timeout for me?
No, that's what happened on the stream.
Oh yeah, Cameron stopped it, and I'm like, "Come on, man! It was just getting the live stream was just getting good."
I know.
I was like, "What the freak, Cameron? Holy crap!"
Cameron. Oh, you mean Pasha?
He's like, you got to stop it. I was like,
this isn't productive right now.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
fight.
This is views.
When I say this, I don't mean to sound like I'm exactly hating on Marvel, but without Darkseid, you would not have Thanos. So Marvel's Thanos was their answer to Darkseid.
But you know what? What
in
a
the comics?
Shame. Yeah. Jack Kirby created Darkseid first.
Right.
And then he literally said, I created Thanos, and he's just a spinoff of Darkseid.
But Thanos in the comic books is
he looks like Darkseid to a little bit. If you look at some of his older
I'm just saying,
designs.
Thanos in the comic books isn't what it's nothing like the movies.
No,
he fits in the same. He sits in the same position in the Marvel universe as Darkseid does in DC.
I was just saying the way that Mara was saying that. The way you say that makes it sound like Darkseid is not as good When you
No,
compare
no.
Thanos comic book to Darkseid
No,
comic,
I'm saying,
like,
we likely would not have had Thanos at
Oh,
all.
I did.
if
Okay,
it's not
I
for
get
the
what you're
popularity of Darkseid.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Darkseid came first.
And what a fucking shame that, you know, for the fact that Darkseid was created first, the fact that Darkseid in the comics is a far more impactful character and popular character than Thanos. What a fucking shame that Thanos got out the gate in the movie world first, and a majority of people who are just, you know, normies, I guess, in the comic book movie space, really think that Thanos is the original galactic threat over a Darkseid, which, I mean,
yeah, but the truth is, Uche, normies like Marvel movies better than DC movies. That's just how it is.
Because Marvel got out the gate first.
It doesn't matter if they got you had Batman versus Superman, which is the two greatest. They rival anything Marvel has.
Batman versus Superman came out when? What? How many?
It doesn't
movies,
matter.
How many movies
They are
did
the
Marvel have out
greatest
before?
characters. You gonna let me finish? Are you gonna let me finish, or you just
I
gonna
know
try
what
to
you're gonna
interrupt
say.
me?
You don't.
You know what you're talking about, Uche. Batman and Superman are the greatest comic book characters ever created. Batman, I'm a Marvel person. Batman has the greatest villains ever created in comic book history. All right, and I'm a Marvel person.
Just say what you're gonna say. Shit.
I am. I'm saying the normie people didn't like Batman versus Superman.
Why?
They didn't like it.
Because they already had their impression and the mold of what they think a comic book movie should be.
It doesn't matter. It's Marvel.
Marvel set the tempo for what the comic book universe should look like. And DC, DC came running into that second. So they were going to be judged based on the bar,
right?
And the
expectations
so then they made
Justice
of
League
Marvel
look like a Marvel film, and it sucked.
Go back to what Mara was saying earlier.
You get what I'm saying?
Repeat what you said earlier. It's what Mara said earlier. You have to look at how the stories were constructed and how they were like photocopied. People got used to that kind of rhythm, right, Mara? I mean, that's
yeah.
I'm just saying,
it was already set.
What Uche is saying is like the normie crowd aren't diehard comic book fans, so they're gauging the colorful, not just like lighthearted, but colorful tones to the film, like, you know, with the cam work and things like that. And you go from that, because by the time BVS came out, which was in 2016, MCU had kind of been going for 8 years.
It doesn't matter. You're talking about Superman.
Yes, that does matter, dude. That does matter.
Oh, give me a. So you're saying Iron Man is more popular than Superman? That's a joke.
No, hold on, Jay. So this is. Let me just say it real quick.
That's a joke.
So you're 100% right. Iron Man is not in any way, shape, or form the same. He's like a C+ character in terms of Marvel. That's how he was viewed before we got to here. B level probably at best. Definitely not A level, like a god like Superman. But when you look at what Iron Man did between Iron Man, raked in $500 million, something like that, and then Iron Man 2, and then Iron Man 3. Even though Iron Man 3 was a fucking dog shit movie, they had built up so much hype around this universe and everything like that that even this character, you know, that is not that person in this universe with all this momentum, they earned over $1 billion, I think it was, for Iron Man 3. Whereas, you know, Superman, you start off Man of Steel, $700 million. Batman v Superman, $900 million. Who knows where it goes after that if you don't have all this interference? You know what I mean? Like,
I kind of get what you mean, but
the starting point was better.
When you have Captain Marvel making more money than Batman versus Superman, to me that sounds like there's a problem.
Okay, well,
that's a whole other dude. Come on, that's a whole other issue because
like
I'll give you that. I'm just saying, going to
like,
see
you
a
also
DC.
have to factor in what I was saying earlier. Like, they're coming off of how Marvel movies looked, not the character, just the look. And then you take that. How
didn't they do that with Justice League? Didn't they make that into a Marvel film?
Let her finish.
You ain't let me finish. I get it, Jay.
I'm saying going from
he knows I'm right.
I'm saying going from that to BVS, even Man of Steel, and the darker tones and the whole. This is not my Superman. This is not my Batman, because they're comparing the darkness of DC to the more light-heartedness of Marvel.
I don't actually agree with that.
I think some of them were. And that's. I'm not saying that's why BVS ultimately failed. But I'm saying is like they've had 8 years of comic book movies, and their impression of comic book movies at that point
Right, I get what you're saying. Like everybody, we were excited for the Marvel universe, and when they started putting out stuff, even Ant-Man for the like we were going to see it. The issues, what I'm saying is that my Marvel people were even excited to see Superman and Batman, and because they don't quite understand the Zack Snyder universe, they didn't appreciate what it was. Then we went and saw Justice League. And many of the Marvel people were like, man, they're making this into Marvel. We want to see something different. This is just among my people in our discussion. That's why we were kind of like, when I saw the trailer for today, I was like, that's what we should have got. You get what I'm saying? I hope the movie is as good as the trailer.
With BVS and Man of Steel, and you hated it. So what the fuck?
I never said I hated it. Hold on. I have never said I hated those films. Not once.
What do the people want when you hated? When you say you hate Man of Steel, you say you hate BVS.
I said I hated it.
It's too dark. It's too that.
I said I hated it.
But Zack Snyder. No, I'm not talking about you. But Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now the trailer released today. Now everybody loves it. It ain't no different in tone than what you got from BVS. Correct. So to me, it's
different in tone that we got from Justice League, though, Uche. It's different
it's because now people see why what Zack Snyder was doing was unique and should have been appreciated, despite what was going on with Marvel. The Marvel had set the landscape for the movie industry for comic book movies. Listen, Marvel set the landscape and set the tone for the comic book movie industry for 8 years. So everything was going to be judged based on, well, is it like Marvel? How does it feel like a Marvel movie? Can it be a popcorn roller coaster ride, as people like Martin Scorsese would say? No, this is going to be an actual story arc that's built from the mythology that these characters are based on.
That's such a terrible argument.
It is the DC universe. That means you don't understand DC Comics, period, then.
No. And that's why they didn't make money, Uche.
Batman and Superman routinely outsell everything Marvel Comics has every month of every year for the last 20 years.
But Uche, that's what Jay's saying, is that's why he thinks that they should have been more successful. Here's what I'm saying. I hear what Uche and I hear what Mara is saying about what people's expectations were. I will say this: the market had become very saturated with superhero stuff, right? Like, it was coming out a lot, but I don't think that because people were just used to light, that means that, oh, well, we didn't like this. You have to start and grow something. And I think that DC's biggest mistake was not really Zack Snyder. It was the Warner Brothers mandating that he does one movie with Superman and then the next movie involve Batman and Superman, right? Instead of actually growing it organically, being able to do what Marvel did. When you look at the Marvel box office returns, they're not impressive for those first couple things. And in fact, when you look at Marvel versus what DC was doing box office wise, if you look at when Marvel started the MCU versus when DC started the MCU, compare the first movies together, DC was making significantly more money than Marvel was until you get up to Avengers, right? With those first setting the stages of the MCU. But Warner Brothers wanted to change too.
I have something else to add. Jay, just hear me out before you know.
I'm not upset.
You got to look at what Snyder tried to do. What he tried to do is he tried to put together a variety of comic book release stories. And frankly, I think the one fault that he was guilty of, but I loved him for it, is he was putting all of the most intense stories together into probably too few movies. I mean, we got the death of Superman.
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
That could have been 2 movies by itself if you really got into it. I mean, just that piece.
Wait, you guys are thinking I think these movies are bad. I don't.
Let me finish. So what Zack did is he went back and he says, "Okay, and he tried to put them all together, which they weren't all together the way they're being presented to the public. He tried to put too much content. There's multiple layers to it. So when they started slicing and dicing this thing, that's why it got confusing and weird. People didn't like what the. And if you're a fan of all of the comic book properties, it was easy to sit back and say, "Hey, I love what he's trying to do," because you can't take that Superman. The reason the Superman fans are split is they want that 1978 Superman from the 70s because that reminded them of the 50s, 60s, 70s Superman. Well, you know what? We're in a new world. There's no way in hell that guy better show up and try to find himself, because if he does, he'll be a beta. He'll be like against Gina Carano. He'll be over there working for Disney, and he'll be all bad.
Well,
and they'll be calling him Clarky Poo.
Open airlock policy.
I wasn't. All I'm saying is box office numbers don't lie. The reason
Box
why
office numbers don't tell the whole story, dude. Come on, don't do that.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel made $1 billion. That's enough to tell you right there. That shit don't mean nothing.
Okay, so making money means nothing. That's
Allison,
cool.
okay,
That's
Allison,
not
Making money
bad.
mean you're actually
That's a terrible argument, bro.
So you're
That's
telling me
terrible.
Captain Marvel is one of the best comic book movies ever made.
No,
That's
I'm
what you're telling me
saying
right now.
Batman and Superman should have made more than Captain Marvel. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, so was Captain Marvel a better movie than Batman v Superman?
Absolutely not.
Drunk. Listen, okay.
So you just proved my point.
This is like outside comic book realm. You're saying like box office like
okay.
I got one point about box office meaning nothing about the quality of the film. Alice in Wonderland, Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. The first one, guess how much it made?
I get that.
$7.
What I'm trying to say.
It made over $1 billion.
Okay, so they made a good movie that nobody wanted to see. Is that what we're saying?
No, they made a movie that made money. That's what happened.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it was a good movie.
Here, Jay, let's do it this way. Let's go to
Okay.
the Star Wars angle. Hey, how did you like The Last Jedi?
That was trash.
How much did it
It
make?
made $1 billion.
And why did it make $1 billion?
Well,
Did you
why
like?
did
Did you
Superman
like
make
the
$1 billion?
Rise
Why
of
did it make $1 billion?
Skywalker? Rise of Skywalker made over $1 billion, Jay.
Well, why didn't Superman make over $1 billion?
That's a whataboutism, dude. Rise of
Like
Skywalker.
you just said.
Rise of Skywalker made over $1 billion.
All right, everybody.
Does that mean
Uche's
it's
right.
a good
I'll
movie?
just stop.
Does that
because
mean
he's
it's a good movie?
He's not hearing me. He's not hearing
Man
me.
of Steel is 10 times the movie that Rise of Skywalker was. It didn't make $1 billion. So what's
I know why? Why didn't it?
Well, also you have to kind of have to factor in.
Why didn't it?
Yes, in terms of years, like BVS is close to things, but you at the same time also certain movies made in before now and like up to now, you had to factor in inflation rates.
Listen, I'm not trashing these films. I don't know why y'all think that.
I mean, Man of Steel was
$1 billion.
Man of Steel was objectively a success.
If you're a hardcore DC fan,
$700 million
First
for
of all, I
Man
never
of Steel.
said they were failures. All I was saying was you had Superman and Batman, arguably the greatest Superman. They've made more money than any other. They the best comic book heroes in our lifetime, and that's coming from a person who prefers Marvel. I
think that movie should have made $1 billion. You're right, Jay. It should have made $1 billion.
I agree. It should have made $1 billion. But why didn't it make $1 billion?
Uche, that's all I was saying.
Let me ask you two questions, Jay. Number one, do you agree with this? Let me ask you this. Do you agree with the statement that most Marvel movies, starting with Tony Stark, the first one, were made to be appealing to A, people that are hardcore comics book fans, and B, normies?
No, they were very. Each Marvel movie was very similar.
But would you agree that
Hero's journey up and down, with a little twist to add to the end.
Okay, but both of the Marvel movies would simultaneously appeal to hardcore comic book fans and normies. Would you agree with that?
Of course, they were made for everybody.
Okay, there's no way in hell you can look at Batman v Superman and tell me that that's a normie movie, and that's why we didn't make $1 billion. Because that's why you can't have a fight with a lot of people online, because they're not real Batman fans. Just like Star Wars, you have normies and you have
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly my point. That's exactly my point.
I think the idea that Marvel movies only make money because no one just no real fans. It's just for normies. DC is just elitism. You have to know about comics. I don't think that's really the right approach. I think that the bottom line is that when you look at Superman, it made $700 million. That was its success in my mind, very much so. Especially when you look at kind of what Batman Begins made when they started off that franchise. I think that Batman v Superman should have made $1 billion. Made 900 million. Should have made $1 billion. Keep in mind, this is before all these solo movies from Marvel started making those kinds of numbers, right? That was when it was only like Avengers team ups that were making, cracking 1 billion. Black Panther wasn't out making a fucking $1 billion. Captain Marvel was not making $1 billion. Thor Ragnarok wasn't out making 800 million, whatever it made. That was still, it required those big team ups, and we had a team up with Batman v Superman, should have hit $1 billion, did not. A lot of reasons for that. One of them, because Warner Brothers cut that movie to shit. The
And this
theatrical
isn't-
release,
Thank
the
you.
theatrical release of Batman v Superman is not a great movie.
It
I think
sucks.
it's good. I think it's good, but it is not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination, and it's very confusing if you're watching it. The Ultimate Edition provides all the context and clarifies so much and makes it an incredible movie, in my opinion.
And also, Ryan, the
trailer.
Ultimate Cut, if you compare the Ultimate Edition to theatrical, they're literally in different orders.
Yep.
The movies play out, and it's like they literally took the middle of the movie and moved it to the front, took the front of the movie, moved it to the back side of the middle. The entire movie was rearranged. So the plot points and the threads of the movie never connected in the theatrical cut. But if you watch the Ultimate Edition, it literally plays out in a fluid and very layered order.
So you're telling me, Uche, they didn't release the best version in the theaters when
Absolutely.
they should have?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. That's all I was
That's a big part
saying.
of it.
I didn't say I hated it. I
Well,
own
and I
it.
think-
I'm just
what I
saying,
think-
like, I was shocked. I was shocked that many people I know went and saw it and were like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all I was saying was like they weren't, there was no return viewers. There was no people going back to watch it again. And if they did, it would have crossed the lines, and then people probably wouldn't be talking about saying that it was a failure. I don't think it was a failure. I'm just saying that I was surprised that you had two of the greatest I said this a million times. I just thought it would have done better than box office. That's all I was saying.
I also
on
think
the
a
flip
big
side,
impact was that trailer where when they cut the trailer, they required what's his nuts to be in it.
Doomsday.
On the flip
Doomsday.
side, I collected tons of comics growing up. Tons. To me, Iron Man was always, I always liked Iron Man, but he was at best B- in my collection, at best, on a good day.
I thought Iron Man was a good movie, but I don't give a fuck about Iron Man as a character.
Exactly.
Nobody did.
And so when it started doing so well, I was like, what the fuck?
And that's kind of what Jay's point is, Uche. He's saying that you have these characters like the MCU. Honestly, it's incredible because the MCU, because they planned out and because they were patient, the MCU was able to build this fucking monolith out of B-level characters without having the Fantastic Four, without having X-Men, without having motherfucking Spider-Man. And
if
regardless how
Iron
you
Man
feel about it, it's
bombed,
impressive.
that we would not even have had this. That they have said that from the beginning. Feige was just like everything rested on Iron Man 1 and 2. Everything rested on that. If it wasn't good, they wouldn't have gone forward. They would have gone in a different direction.
Look, my whole point about the entire thing, and Jay, no, you're right about these characters in Marvel are not on DC's level, and we can all agree. We can all agree to that. But my point was the first one out the gate sets the tone. And when we're talking about the modern age of comic book movies, which is really, when I say that, I'm really talking about post the Dark Knight trilogy. Iron Man was out the gate, and the DCEU was able to get out a number of movies in those first 5, 6, 7, 8 years where they had actually set the expectations for how a comic book movie should appear and how the tone of a comic book movie should be. And because of their success, the media also expected that comic book movies should have certain kinds of tones and certain kinds of like progressions, episodic almost, like how the Marvel universe was. DC was not on that same path initially with Man of Steel. They weren't looking at that. They weren't aiming to follow in what Marvel was doing. Executive interference and knee-jerk reactions, and the media also shitting on everything DC was doing because it didn't look or feel like Marvel to start with, set the tone for how people perceive DC movies to be. Now, they didn't help themselves by fucking up BVS with the way that they cut it down by 30 minutes.
But can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
When you finish, but that's what I'm saying is when they took Justice League and decided to Marvelize
make it like Marvel,
and then it wasn't a success either because they were like, it just shattered the DC universe where they're like, where everyone was people like me were looking in, going, they don't know what they're doing or where they want to go. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Warner
that's
Brothers
true. That's
panic.
true.
Warner Brothers panic because they said what you said, Jay. They said exactly what you said. Instead of looking at the success that they had, the money that they made, they said, why we just put Batman and Superman together and we didn't get the same money that this fucking thing that has been being built for fucking years made. And they didn't understand why. That is the reason that all of this happened. Because people have said that question without understand that you have to actually build something. You can't just throw characters out there. And there were some people that just weren't into it, but there were a big portion of people who were. That is why Justice League failed the way that it did. Because the people that were down didn't fucking like what they got. You know what I mean? Because the people that you had got invested in this, that had, even picked up the Batman v Superman Blu-ray and were like, God, this version's so much fucking better. I love this. All of a sudden, they started changing the tone of what they had started because they panicked. Now, what do you see? They're fucking changing back. There's no consistency.
Let me ask you a quick question. If Justice League was a massive success, how do you think they would have steered the ship? They
would have just gone full on that way.
Are you talking about Justice League?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if it was like... I'm just curious what y'all think. If it was like,
sure, but that's a hard one to even imagine.
Well, I mean, you kind of saw that they were like steering that ship in that direction.
Aquaman was basically a Marvel movie.
Yeah, post Justice League with Aquaman and Wonder Woman 84.
Aquaman was a more Marvel movie.
And I think that's why it worked.
But I think that Aquaman is one of those characters that you can go that path with, and it can work because he has storylines that are a little bit more in the fantastical for sure, and there are and he has a little bit of that that different Atlantis kind of feel to the Atlantis world, the Atlantis mythology. Those are things that you can have a lighter tones with, and you can go dark too, and
it was a heavy CGI because of the underwater.
A lot of CGI, a lot of digital camera work. Like one of the things about how Zack Snyder was doing DCEU movies that I liked was that he wasn't going with digital camera work. Digital camera work, in my opinion, because you look at Marvel's MCU, that's all digital camera work, and to me, it doesn't look that good when you when you compare it to actual filming with IMAX, with different millimeter lenses that actually give a little bit more a lot more detail. Don't look as washed out when you get into those high pace, those fast paced scenes. It just has I feel like DCEU's, at least from a cinematography standpoint, is far superior than the MCU is.
I want to say this from someone out looking in. I could not be happier for you guys to get the movie that you want, to get something that you want. I couldn't be happier. Like, really, this is such a and the people that don't celebrate this as a win for all fandom they're freaking crazy.
And you've been great about supporting this.
This is a beautiful moment for people that really wanted to see this universe, and I really hope it's super successful, that it will continue. However they gauge the success with HBO Max or whatever it is. So I really do.
There's two things I want to say. There's only one other character that they introduced in the DC films, the current DC films, that I could say I could see them having a Marvel-esque tone, is Shazam. And that's because Shazam himself is Billy Batson. He's basically a 13-year-old kid. He's a kid. So he's going to have more of a humorous take on that character, even though there's a very, very dark moment in the film. It's going to have that Marvel level of humor. And then this comment on the screen, it's like, didn't Batman kill the Joker in Dark Knight Returns?
Well, Batman shot a motherfucker in the head in Dark Knight Returns, like in between the fucking eyes.
Yeah, but there was the one.
I mean, Batman killed like 30 people in the Nolan trilogies.
Yeah.
Shoot.
But yeah, even in the comics, he has killed before, especially. And listen, the iteration that Zack's going for is heavily inspired by Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
Even Zack Snyder wasn't willing. Even Zack Snyder wasn't willing to go the distance and do a panel for panel of Batman shooting a motherfucker in between the eyes. Instead, that's the scene that he had him shoot the tank, the flamethrower tank. Yeah, even Zack didn't want to go that far with it. So He held back. Let me get through some of these super chats. You guys have been blowing it up. That is crazy. You guys are nuts. Jake the Movie Geek for 5. I'm in the rare situation where I've never watched the theatrical version of Justice League. The Snyder Cut will be my first time watching the film. That is an awesome perspective to have. I would recommend watching this one. Then maybe if you can find it in the dollar bin, watching Justice League to understand why people see this like crazy difference.
Isn't it on TNT now? Like, don't they?
Probably. I think it is on TNT.
Your public library is open.
Isn't it on HBO Max?
I think so. Yeah.
If you don't want
DC movies are.
If you don't exactly want to pay for it and you have a library card, just go to your local library, see if it's there, and just like check it out.
Yeah.
That's what I did when I watched it a second time.
Mikey Gusta for $2. Invite Zack Snyder on the stream. Go Snyder. Yeah, Zack, you come on and clean this up. You can clear all of this up. Let us know what was going on at Warner Brothers. We appreciate it. Thank you, Mikey. Brother John for 5. I want to see a mariachi band of Iron Man suits wearing ponchos and sombreros, and the Mexican Iron Man wearing Pancho Villa's gun belts.
Okay, hold on. Let me copy and paste that, and let me get to work on that. I'm going to have to talk to Chairman Jeremy, and maybe I'll need some resources from Echo Base. I'm probably going to need Jay. Jay will do a fundraiser. Jay,
gotcha, man.
Okay, and then I'll contact my buddies at Televisa. We'll hit so people can hit the SAP button and do it in Spanish. All right, it's coming. That's a great idea. I'm in.
Good idea, Brother John. Timothy Brock becomes a member. Thank you, Timothy Brock. That's awesome. We got a $10 from Jeremy. Nice to see Drunk 3PO on here. It's always nice to see Jay. Roger Haynes for Canadian $2. Sup, Jay?
What's up?
Timothy Brock for 5. Can't wait to see Darkseid in live action. As soon as we power through these super chats and the Streamlabs, I'm going to go through the rest of the trailer real quick so we can actually finish it before we got off tangent a little. Thank you, Timothy. William DJ Prime for 5. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. I got exactly what I wanted because I was coming watching Zack Snyder's Justice League trailer. D-Day Cobra for $10. Did I get Mexican Iron Man fired yesterday? And I think Mexican Iron Man replied in the chat. Right?
Go down in my chat, and the answer's there.
He says, for $20, Mexican Iron Man, who is on the panel, says, Jeremy, last night they were having heart attacks. I stand by Cobra, and if I don't get fired, I better get promoted. And if not, hell, I will be in a van down by the river, but loyal to D-Day and G&G. Hail, bro, Jeremy. There it is from the man himself, Mexican Iron Man.
It needed to be done, and he did a great job. I'm so proud of Jeremy. I'm so proud. So proud.
Yeah, we needed a little bit of that.
Yeah, we did.
A little bit.
We got to get it out. I actually put him and the Amazing Lucas side by side because I thought it would be, but oh no. Oh boy.
I'm not privy to what happened there.
Uchi, you know the one you did.
I knew it was going to happen because Lucas did a video about
that you did the other day. Was it on Sports Wars, Ryan? Was it last Sunday already? On Sunday? Remember Uchi when you got into it the other day? I can't remember which stream it was.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about Midnight's Edge?
I think so. Yeah. When you were okay. It was worse than that.
I mean, it wasn't that bad.
You did. Well, your 5 is like, they're from Alabama. Yeah. They're like 27. You know what I mean? Like on a scale of 1 to 10. So yeah.
John Cook, Ray Porter is Darkseid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ray Porter, who's been tweeting about it all day, in fact, from what I could see, which is awesome. Valiant Renegade for $5. Had to keep my muzzle on my mouth while guessing on Echo Base with Mexican Iron Man 2. Not very easy. No, D-Day Cobra, Mexican Iron Man is still employed. Yes, it's a family-themed show over there. You got to be nice. Extreme Oompa for 5. Mexican Ironside will always be, Michael Ironside will always be my dark side, and I wish he was doing the voice for Snyder. No, it is going to be Ray Porter. So Ray Porter is going to do it. But Michael Ironside is a great dark side as well.
Voice-wise, I could see that, Michael Ironside.
WZRBS for $5. Ryan is awful, and I will never support him in any way. Thank you for the $5. Also, Jay, I will find you and hug you. P.S. Brady is the GOAT.
Gross.
Uche wasn't listening.
Uche, did you hear that one?
What?
Brady is the GOAT.
Fuck them, Brady.
Yeah, he doesn't even deny it anymore. It's just fuck Tom Brady. No more for $2. People who wear 4 masks are hardcore MCU fans.
I just love that. It's kind of like Pavlov's dogs. Just say Tom Brady is the GOAT, and that's Uche's response. It's like
4 maskers. We're 4 maskers now.
It's like what's the MCU's target audience? Just a dude with 8 masks on. It's like what Gina Carano posted. That's actually really why she got fired. They were upset that she was insulting the Marvel audience. I'm just kidding. I enjoy a lot of the MCU. I just am a little bit tired of it. Thaddeus Maximus for $5. Success of Nolan Batman negates Uche's argument. Dark Knight is still probably the best superhero movie. BVS wasn't as good because of Lex and Martha.
What the hell is he talking about? Dude, the DC universe is a completely separate product from the Nolan verse. So you can't sit there and say, "Oh, well, look, they did it with the Nolan verse, so it's different." It's different. There's no Superman, there's no fantastical elements in Nolan's DC universe to the level that you would have in the DCEU. So it's not comparable.
I actually love the Martha scene.
I mean, it sets it up from the very. I watched the intro to BVS today because I wanted to hear Ben Affleck talk about like the beautiful lie, right? I wanted to hear him talk about that, and when Jeffrey Dean Morgan hits the ground, Martha, like when he says that, as he's dying, his last words to his wife as she's laying there dying, it sets it up from the very beginning. But I didn't have any issue with Martha other than maybe it sounded like Henry was a little bit constipated when he said it. That's my only
probably
issue.
Rings true for me is being Mexican, we use the same names over and over again. Jesus, Maria. Then you're like, wait, your mom's name Maria too?
Yeah, it'd be like nothing. It'd be like no big deal.
Yeah, it's like a cultural trigger. You know what I mean? We're like, yeah, okay, well, we got to work together, bro.
Yeah. Also, at that point, Batman was just looking at Kal-El, Superman, as like an alien. Like he wasn't looking at him as anything else. He was like, there's even a 1% chance that he could be an enemy. We have to take that as 100% certainty or something like that. And when you have cheesiness aside of whatever you think of that scene, which I don't mind. I love that scene.
Yeah, I loved it.
Like him saying her name brought Batman back down.
That triggered him. He's PTSD. Batman is a PTSD kid.
Yeah,
he was traumatized as a child. If you're watching BVS, when he wakes up in the little lake house he's in with the bad chick next to him, when he grabs the wine, or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't the wine. He grabbed the prescription pills
and wash it down with wine.
The dude is taking prescription pills, likely for something that's that pertains to depression or PTSD. So Batman is always dealt with his own sanity as a character, and that is what he's kind of getting at in that scene. So when he hears, and you see that throughout the course of the movie, Zack gives you insight into the trauma that his mother's death did to him. And that's through a number of different sequences, like the Man-Bat scene. And when Kal-El says Martha's name, that is a literal trigger. That is like when people came back from Vietnam and they're with their family out to eat, and somebody drops a pan on the ground and it makes a clapping noise. It can be misconstrued as a gunshot for somebody who has a trigger like that. You'll see a Vietnam vet dive under their table because they think that they're back at war. That's what happened to Bruce Wayne when he heard Martha when he was dealing with Superman. And people thought that was cheesy. Like, you're fucking, people just don't know what you want. That's where I get at with it.
It's what Bane was doing to him in his scene, and it also happened in the comic books too. He's like, he says, "You embrace the dog. I was born in it, raised in it. By the time I'd seen the sun, I was already a man." He's like, he's basically fucking with Batman's like, look, dude, I know this whole Dark Knight shit doesn't faze me. Crack goes the back.
All right. And so as far as Big Daddy Megatron goes, and then we'll move on, Batman is disciplined. He's not unhinged. The whole point of Ben Affleck in BVS is that he has gone beyond what he should be doing as Batman. That's the entire point of the movie. That's what they're trying to tell you. And that's that he has lost his way. Yeah, has he killed people like unintentionally? Basically, like, yep, you know, if they're in a car, I'm in a car, I'm trying to get this thing, they're bad guys. If I hit them, I don't really give a fuck if they live or die. That kind of killing people. But up to this point, Batman has never murdered someone, right? And he's about to do that for the first time and about to take the unavoidable, like unreturnable path. Because again, he doesn't see Superman as human. And in that moment, he recognizes him as human and realizes what he's about to do. That's why he's shocked. It's not because he realizes, like, he's not shocked because he's like, oh, Superman has a mother. It's shocked because that triggers him to realize that Superman is a person and what he is about to do. Because he is now Joe Chill. He is the dude in the alley, and he recognizes just how far he's fallen. That's the point of the movie.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Ryan, your
that's how I
leadership
see it.
and brilliance continues to lead the fandom to the promised land, sir.
Thank you, Mexican Iron Man. I appreciate it. We have so many super chats. You guys are crazy. New Bomb Turk for $5. Marvel took their time building the universe. DC tried to rush it and stumbled out of the gate. 100% agree. I think that is their biggest failure, and their unavoidable, like, and the thing that you have to talk about. They refuse to stick to a plan, and that's one of the problems. No more for $2. WB messed up with Green Lantern BVS. The rest has been dope. But yeah, there you go. And Green Lantern was before the DCEU, so that one doesn't really count. But yeah, I agree. Jeff Johns. I don't like Justice
every
League.
movie that you can consider, I guess that you can consider a failure within the DC universe. And I'm including Green Lantern in this because Green Lantern was actually supposed to be the movie to kick off the DCEU.
1984.
The ones that have been failures, who has been the constant in those movies?
Jeff Johns.
Fuck
him.
Eat shit.
Nathaniel Larson for $2. Leave Jay alone. Leave him alone. I think that's you, Uche.
I love Jay.
Blue North Bear for $5. It's not the audience's fault. It's the job of the screenwriters, actors, and directors to create a good product and sell us on it. They didn't. Yeah, it's fair enough, Blue North Bear. I think that, again, I think the audience is there, and you're about to see that the audience is there if only they had stuck with the plan. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Andrew Johnson for $5. Superman should have at least had one more film before he got killed. I agree. I think that would have been ideally. I think that would have been ideally.
Man of Tomorrow, and then like start looking into the Doomsday stuff. Maybe.
You have my permission to die.
Nerd Cookies for $2. New Joker looks like he ate a bunch of blueberries. Yeah, he's got that makeup really sprayed out, not sprayed on, but moved all around there. I don't think he cares about how he looks anymore. Andres Fernandez for 50, whatever that is. I don't know what denomination it is, but thank you. Ryan, do you remember how journals were trashing BVS before release, criticizing Affleck, the tone, etc.? They were guilty of the bad vibe. I will say this. It's not even a secret. There was Rotten Tomatoes exposés done about it, about how people would get together specifically to bash on a movie and give it really bad fucking critiques. I do think that had an influence on a lot of people, a lot of the press out there, and it's still happening today. People are still lying about Zack Snyder and his movies today, these same people. So you have no idea how much impact that does have, but it's out there. Geek Talk for $5. Should have bought some popcorn. DC versus MCU. This stream is gold. Get Jason back up. I got Jay's back. And I got Uche's back too. Typically, I argue with people, but when they're on my stream, I'm the mediator.
You're a trigger.
Yeah. Nathaniel Larson for $5. Dark Knight greater than MCU, greater than BVS, greater than Brady, greater than Uche, greater than Jay's tears.
Dark Knight.
Yeah, Dark Knight. So Dark Knight is the best according to Nathaniel, and Jay's tears are the worst. He doesn't like it when Jay cries.
So.
I hardly ever cries.
Black and White News. What's up, John? Trailer was fire. Bring it on. Did you tell Uche he got roasted on Sports Wars today?
What?
I don't think.
Excuse me?
You got roasted on Sports Wars today by the chat because the Greg was there and saying facts like Uche or Tom Brady has as many rings as years that Uche played in the league. 7. Uche has 42 wins in his NFL career. Tom Brady has 34 wins in the playoffs. Things like that. Things,
Uche,
things like that.
Happy Valentine's Day, buddy.
That's great. That's great. I love the Greg. He's fucking funny. I mean, he has some good ones. I'll be like, damn, that was good.
Uche is no longer in a safe space.
He's like, I love Jay. I'm like, Uche, Happy Valentine's Day. And Uche's on another conversation.
Jay, just for everyone that's here first, Jay says Valentine's, like it's a time of the day.
Yeah.
Like, 2:14. Oh, it's Valentine's.
That's how you say it.
No, it's not. It's how you say it.
No.
That's how you say it in Florida.
But for his credit, I want to commend
accent.
Jay on being a winner at the Spanish word of the day. He's got his shit down. He's almost bilingual now.
Jesus for 5. I agree with Drunk. How can Snyder make meh movies with 3 of the most iconic comic book heroes? Well, and a lot of people's opinions are not meh movies, but I hear where you're coming from, Jesus. No more for $2. Man of Steel greater than 99% of Marvel movies. I agree with that, which is why I disagree with Jesus. I agree. No more. The Last King of Scotland for $5. The people that hate this trailer are the same people that find no beauty in classical art or literature and who just like bubblegum and soda pop. Well,
that's the thing. You should be happy. People should be happy for the fan. That's all I'm saying. Like, even if they don't care about the film, they should still be happy for the fans.
Well, and I think that there are people who are going to see this and just not be interested. That's normal. Mm-hmm. Like, there's things that come out from Marvel that people are stoked about that I'm just like, all right. Star Wars, same fucking way. Everybody just has different tastes. But as far as the win for fandom, that is the important thing in all of this. Roger Haynes for $5. You think they should have waited till after Endgame to start the DC movies? No, they just didn't feel like they needed to play catch up with Avengers. And that's really where the problem was. That was one of the mandates. And then if you're going to do that, at least let the man do it.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, let the man do it. Show the actual Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman so it makes sense, because WB found out you can't just slap names on it and have it sell. You need there to be context there. You need the story to be told. They were fucking overconfident. They thought it didn't matter. And they cut out parts of the story to put it down to, so people will watch it at 2 hours and 15 minutes. Fuck off.
What about
they started breaking it down to like the equations of fucking like
they're like, Marvel movies are only 2 hours long, so we need to make our movies 2 hours long.
What about stacking the origin stories? Like, too much of that and too little time. What do you guys feel about that?
Well, you're about to get 3 origin stories in this movie, Justice League, but it takes place over 4 hours.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, a couple of them don't matter. Like Flash, to me, doesn't matter because I've always hated Flash. I think he's the stupidest hero ever. Because I mean, running fast is a thing. If you're Mexican, that comes with the territory, bro. You run fast like this, like you're 5. If you're Mexican and don't run fast, you probably don't make it to 11. So I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed by Flash. All the others are, kind of neat, but he runs fast. I don't know.
Well,
maybe he runs fast for a white guy.
If you're Mexican and you can't run fast, jump high, or swim well, you're still in Mexico. That's
you have to develop those superpowers already.
Right. That's right. Yeah. No more for $2. Joss Whedon ruined Justice League. I think you're getting a lot of agreement between all of us here, except maybe Jeremy. But I did see Jeremy was in chat earlier. Roger Haynes for $5 Canadian. Shout out to Steph for doing a kick-ass job modding. No thanks to Jeremy. I don't expect Jeremy to mod. But the fucking there were some trolls in chat earlier. That was true. That just happens on my stream.
One of them called Steph and me homophobic and white supremacists. Meanwhile, I'm biracial and she's Hispanic. So it's just like
these fools keep taking L's.
Not only do they not do their homework, they can't see.
Yeah, that's right. Like I said, all these fucking losers, these haters, these pussies, these pieces of shit who are here trolling each and every week because you got nothing better to do with your lives, right? Y'all take L's like you take cock, hard and often. It just happens. So
long dick.
Yeah. Lego Darth Jar Jar for $5. People just hating on Zack because his DC movies are made for alphas. Give Snyder complete control and they'll beat Marvel in time. I just think it's not even necessarily about beating Marvel. And I think that was one of the things they got so focused on. Mm-hmm. You don't need to try to be Marvel. You need to be an alternate, right? Yeah. And Marvel movies make a fucking insane amount of money. You don't have, just because you don't make that much money doesn't mean it's a fucking failure. Mm-hmm. They were still making money. So,
and the characters you got, take your time. These characters, Everybody knows they're better. Everybody knows that they're more. I won't say, because that's a subjective thing.
Yeah,
I will say that everybody knows
they're more
our
iconic.
characters.
They're more iconic.
We have the pantheon of the most iconic characters. They started superheroes in comic books with our characters.
Literally.
So take our time and just make our movies. They said it was going to be a director-oriented universe where the directors made their movies, and they just, as soon as they said that, you flip the page and they done tore apart BVS, tore apart Suicide Squad, redid Justice League. You completely went against everything that you said that you wanted to do with the universe from a creative standpoint. So, that's where really at the end of the day, everything went wrong for this entire universe. And now, with it all being said and done, they're going back to it, and they're winding it back and giving us Zack Snyder's Justice League. So,
and it goes back to the point that just because a movie makes a certain amount of money does not automatically mean it's a good film. Or just because a movie makes less than, like DC movie made less than a Marvel movie does not mean the DC movie itself is a bad film.
Yeah, true.
Jeremy for $10 says, everyone knows I don't like Snyder's DCEU. I think Jay shaking his head, but I'm very happy for the fans, and Zack Snyder is a man's man. That is for damn sure. Hail Zack Snyder. And that's the one thing I've respected from my people like Jeremy, right? Even though he's not a big fan of the movie, the fact that Zack Snyder and fans are pushing back against Hollywood and against the media, because the media never wanted this to happen. The media lied to you for years about this movie so that it wouldn't happen. The executives at Warner Brothers lied about it for years so that it wouldn't happen. And fuck, here we are today. So,
and credit to Jay and Jeremy. They've always been supportive, even though they're like, even though it wasn't their cup of tea. Jay and Jeremy have always been supportive.
Absolutely, they have. Jay was one of the first people who's fighting for it the day that got announced, because there were some fuckers that were not happy about it. No more for $2. Gina needs to be cast as Power Girl. You know who Power Girl is, Jay?
No idea.
2 big reasons you should know her.
Yeah, 2 big reasons. Yeah.
Top heavy?
Yes, very much. Look up, just do a Google search for Power Girl art right now. Devil Eyed Elves for $5. Uche is obnoxious, but us Georgia boys got to stick together. As Uche is muted because he's probably smoking, I would guess. I don't know. But goddamn, skipped on me. Where did
what's the name? Power Girl?
Power Girl.
Power, yeah. Michael Ironside did his voice in the Superman animated series. Yes, Extreme Oompa. Thank you. Murda for $5. Can we agree that Superman black suit looks fucking badass? Can't wait for the Snyder Cut. Thank you, Murda. Appreciate it. We're going to take a look at the trailer one more time before we end. I promise. But I got to get through these super chats. Yeah, Jay just found Power Girl.
Oh, you like Power Girl there, Jay? What does Power Girl look like?
Nice little cut off top that she's wearing.
Yeah. Common Sense America for $5. Screw Ryan. He doesn't deserve my money. Team Jeremy for life. Thank you, Common Sense America. Appreciate it, brother. Jonathan for $5. According to George Lucas, the Empire was Trump and his MAGA troops, and the SJWs are the rebellion. Cameron interview. According the Empire was Trump and his MAGA troops, and the SJWs are the rebellion. In the James Cameron interview, is that the one you're talking about? That's not how I necessarily read it. Although there are definitely allegories to be told. But yeah, I don't think that's... I'd have to read that James Cameron interview because I didn't see him say that. But if he did, I'll probably talk about it. Thank you, Jonathan. Sean Pugh for $5. Could the possible success of the Snyder Cut branch out to other entertainment companies listening to fans instead of those who push cancellation? Yes, I think it will, and I think that is the most important part. And one of the reasons they are scared, they hate fans. They don't want fans to have power. And the media doesn't want fans to have power. It is very obvious because they're saying that people going into HBO Max's Twitter account and replying, release the Snyder Cut. We want the Snyder Cut. We want Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's toxic and that's harassment. You know, fuck them. Fuck those people. Mikey Gussler for $10. When Alfred suggests Bruce he should go upstairs to the party, he says, some girl from Metropolis will set you right, foreshadowing to Lois Lane stopping Batman from performing the final blow. 100%, Mikey. 100%. Thank you for the $10, brother. I know you're excited today. Rory Brown for 5. Do you think we'll get a scene in Justice League that tops the warehouse scene in BVS? I don't know if anything can top that warehouse scene, but I know we're going to see a Batman that is much more useful than he was in Joss Whedon's cut. I know that for a fact. We know we're going to see that.
The Bat Tank? Motherfucker,
Dude.
let's go!
Dark Knight Returns straight out of the page, man. No more for $2. BVS Batman is not prime Batman. Yeah, this is a multiverse, you know? This is a
20
multiverse.
years in Batman who is weary, angry, and tired.
And has lost his way because after 20 years in Gotham, things
Ain't
have only
nothing
gotten
changed.
worse.
Yeah.
Robin is dead. Joker killed Robin. It's worse than it was. He feels like he's failed, right? So, Journey Trials and Joy for 5. They should let Zack control the DCEU. I agree. And if you want to do multiverses, do multiverses. Fucking make much shit as you want. People will buy it. People will consume it, like, because it's there. I don't think they're going to be confused. Shiny FX for £2. Snyder Cut is going to suck. His writing is bad. I know Shiny's not a big fan of Zack Snyder's Justice League, but I disagree.
Ryan reads that. Ryan reads that so funny. Sorry. It's going to suck. His writing is bad.
Yeah. I think that Man of Steel is an incredible movie. I think Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition is also an incredible movie, both in narrative. If you're talking about maybe like this little line of dialogue here and there, I think there's moments of fucking pure masterful dialogue, like we saw in this trailer when Alfred is like, how do you know they're ready? You know, you can't stand in front of a charging bull. Like, if you're not ready, you can't stand in front of the charging bull and wave the red cape. In, like, talking about Superman. Like, that kind of shit is on point. That kind of dialogue. And I think you do get a lot of that. You do get a couple things I question. Maybe I would change that a little bit. For the most part, though, the story, I think, is fan-fucking-tastic. No more for $5. In order to understand Snyder movie, you must have above average testosterone levels. Possibly. Maybe that's the problem. Too much soy out there. No more. I appreciate it. Thomas Goki for $10. Just watch Ord's Board channel reaction to Justice League. The Joker's creepy, almost like the best Joker ever. Love the trailer so much. Shout out Ord's Board. Great guy and deserves the subs. Ords is fantastic. Ord's Board is a great dude for sure. Yeah, Joker looks awesome. And I predicted in our stream yesterday, we did last night, I'm like, listen, I think we're going to hear the Joker. I think it's just going to be one line and, you know, something very to the point, and that's basically what we got. And it was fucking sick.
What do y'all think about the "we live in a society" line? Like, was that kind of a? You think that's more of Joker's crazy, and they're in this nightmare in the nightmare scene, I guess, nightmare universe. To Joker, all of this is like, this is normal shit, but then there's that aspect now where the world has completely been overrun. And the irony of Joker saying, like, we live in a society where honor is a thing of the past. Like, what do you think about that?
I think that that is a little bit of a shot at people. You know what I mean? I think it's a little bit of a shot at what happened to him.
Okay. I was thinking about that too. I just didn't know whether I should think of it in a jab to, like, the industry and how they did him, or
that's what I think.
It's the Joker's irony in the context of the film.
I think you're going to see a Joker who, like, with the world destroyed, is almost like broken because he, like, doesn't know what to do. Like, how does he cause chaos in a world
that's already chaos?
Yeah. That's kind of where I think the Joker's head's going to be at a little bit. But we live in a society, I think that's definitely a jab at, like, the Joker meme. You know what I mean? That came out after Joker. And then the honor, I think that's a little bit of a shot, if I'm being honest with you. Just a normie. Oh, here we go. Shiny FX for £5. The Snyder Cut is going to suck. Batman v Superman is horrifically bad. So is Man of Steel. They are horribly written. They are not Batman and Superman.
Ryan,
I mean, it's almost like we talked about this. You're right. Superman is not Superman yet in Man of Steel. Yeah. We're seeing a Superman origin story. And like I stated, you're right. Batman's not Batman. He's lost his way. He is the Dark Knight Returns Batman in a lot of ways. It's very much how he's inspired. And he is doing things that he shouldn't be doing. And it takes an alien to help him regain his humanity. And that to me, not horribly written in any way, shape, or form. But I will say the theatrical cut is very hard to follow. The things they cut are very important to the plot of the story. And I think that 30 minutes is really important to what happens. Now Nathaniel Larson for $2. MCU has Squirrel Girl. Uche, take that.
Squirrel Girl she is pretty powerful. But
Jens Jurgensen for 100, I think that's Danish krones, maybe. I waited 20 years from the first X-Men movie to the release of the movie of my favorite character, Dark Phoenix. Boy, did I get bent over and shafted. Can't wait for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Well, thank you, Jens. I hope it's everything that we hope it is as well. I really do. That should be fucking awesome. But I'm going to be honest, though. You know, I'm excited for this movie. I've been excited for movies in the past that have really let me down, and I've been honest about it. I will be honest about this one, but I can't say that I'm not super fucking hyped. For sure. Just a normie for $5. Ryan, I am considered a normie. I could tell by your name. But I know that DC is better than Marvel. Fighting words from Just a Normie. Thank you, Just a Normie. One more from Shiny Effects for £2. Snyder is no different than Rian Johnson. I think there's a big difference, and I've said this multiple times, that, you know, when you're working in
losing faith in humanity.
Yeah. Uche, are you going to stand for that, Uche? Are you going to stand for that comment?
Yeah. I mean, it's so ridiculous. For me to actually try and a rebuttal to that would be very hard, because I mean, I'd have to make myself a little dumber to make a rebuttal that could do justice to that idiotic comment.
Yeah, the thing is, and I've talked about this a shit ton of times, that doing something in the mainline Star Wars universe, episode 8 out of a 9-part saga, you can't just like have your own take on a character. You know what I mean? That it doesn't work that way. And that's what we saw Rian Johnson do. What Zack Snyder is doing, we have seen dozens of iterations of both of these characters, both in continuity, like both in canon and non-canon Elseworld stories. Even when different writers pick up the main Detective Comics or whatever, like you have characters that are different and have been vastly different from either iterations, from the 30s all the way up until now. And what Zack Snyder has done is pulling elements from a lot of different parts. And there's no comparison. There's no comparison.
Five storylines or mini book plots all in 3 movies, easily.
What's that?
I said there's multiple plots. I mean, you got the origin stories, and you've got like 5 different comic book runs, in terms of book series in there. It's a lot of material. But I'm excited. This is going to be fantastic. That trailer, I love it. You're killing me. We got to see this trailer. I'm dying over here.
Yeah, I know. Let me get through these super chats. We'll watch the trailer one more time, and then we'll end it, because we've been going 2.5 hours. Still got 1,000 fucking people in here, which is fucking insane. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Thank you to my guests for being so patient as I'm getting through these, and I will get to I'll get to the Streamlabs before I hit the rest of the super chats. From Siberian Dream, I have my own SGW experience after 8 years and 1,800 donations in the Paparna community. He kicked me out day one for daring to question his politics, which I wasn't even doing, and didn't even too gently. 8 years meant nothing to him. Well, fuck that dude. Fuck that dude. Thank you, Siberian Dream. Langford for 3. Apparently, there will be a scene in Zack Snyder's Justice League where Batfleck explains to Wonder Woman his regret of breaking his rule to kill in BVS, aka his character arc. Do you think this could some way sway some of the Batman doesn't kill crowd even after in all the films he has killed? I think that the people aren't even going to listen, because again, we do have these examples of him killing, but for some reason they only hang on to when someone shows the ramifications of him killing, which is what Zack Snyder did. But again, that's the entire point of BVS. So
yeah, and real quick, I think that one thing that I feel has happened with this entire saga with Zack Snyder and with the DCEU is that, and part of this goes to to the fans, whether you're a Marvel fan or a DC fan, is that people didn't let the arcs play out. They were ready to judge things before you even got past what would essentially have been the first and second act of Zack Snyder's DCEU. Like people were already determining or had definitive decisions about what he was doing, even though the arc itself was still playing out to lead these characters back to what their true core elements were from the comic books. Superman was going to be that hopeful, shining light that his father Jor-El said he would be. That's where the arc ends, is when he makes it to that point. Batman was a lost, a fallen character who had lost his way. Well, his arc was going to send him back to what the core of Batman is by the end of the arc. And no one wanted to wait for that. And that's why why people like me and Ryan defend it, because we saw where these arcs were going. So when people sit here and say that wasn't Superman, that wasn't Batman, well, guess what, motherfucker? Do you read the first 2 chapters of a book and then close it and say I'm done?
No, they don't. They don't.
You read the whole book and you read it to its conclusion so that everything is tied up and it comes full circle.
Yeah, for sure. That's my perspective as well. Crazy Nancy for $3. How fucked is Star Wars? With a rusty rod, with a rusty crowbar, just fucked in the ass. That's how fucked Star Wars is. But I think people will still tune back in because they get some nostalgia. Anthony Arribas for $5. More masculine and alpha films would be nice and less beta for male feminists and Karens and the cultists who don't know their gender. Thank you, Anthony. I agree. Cisco Kid for $5. Do you think the Nolan Ryan version of Batman is equal or similar to the Dark Horse comics version of Batman? The Nolan Ryan version of Batman.
Dark Horse comics version of Batman.
I would have to.
Dark Horse comics didn't have Batman in it.
They actually
it did. If you look at I have it said, I think Predator versus Justice League.
There was like some crossovers they did.
Yeah,
I know of.
Okay, crossovers. Okay,
yeah,
guys.
Correct. But
I got like 4 or 5 of them. They're somewhere around here.
Yeah. I know there were some crossovers because I've seen some Dark Horse comics before. I honestly haven't read them. I don't think I've read them, so I couldn't really be able to give a good judge on that.
I'm gonna go put a picture up on the screen. Let me grab one. I think I got one. Hold on.
All right. Let's see. Jacob M. Warped Child for $5. Would love to see Snyder adapt Injustice comics games story into the big screen. Would be one hell of a show. Keep up the great work, everybody. That's one of the things he's doing. Like you can't deny that there is aspects of that are going to be built into this. There's New 52 stuff. There is fucking 80s Batman stuff. There is Injustice inspired stuff in Snyder's vision of the DCEU. He just took some things that he thought were good and kind of weaved them together. So, Shiny FX for $2. Making an argument with 50 characters. Thanks, John. I'll talk to you about it sometime if you want. Caldwin for $5. I love Guardians of the Galaxy and Justice League. Can't we all just get along? Yeah, of course we can. I like Guardians of the Galaxy fine. I did not like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 as much, though. Nathan Sykes for $5. I think the Society line could be referencing Batman's ruthlessness in a war setting. At the end, he goes, "Wouldn't you agree, Batman?"
Yeah, I thought that was a good comment. That made a lot of sense to me.
Journey Trails and Joy for $5. I love the DCU from Zack's touches. When he's involved, it's a good movie. When other directors do, some of it sucks. Again, look at the difference in Wonder Woman and then Wonder Woman 1984. The difference is Zack Snyder was not involved. So that's many other things. Many other things. Many other things going on. Luffy's God, are you talking about the DC Black label? You're telling me Dark Horse doesn't make any comics anymore? What?
DC owned Dark Horse at one point, right?
DC Black Label was like something, wasn't that their like Vertigo or whatever?
DC Black Label was like the separate label that DC was doing for their comic books that had like more, I think these were more adult stories that were just like in themselves, like just were singular stories in themselves, weren't related to the canon at all. I think they tried. I think they had discussions about replicating that with the movie industry and starting it with Joker, and maybe doing a villain line of movies that are all kind of just singular stories. But you know, they're still moving on that stuff. We don't know yet.
Yeah, and like Dark Horse is still like around publishing stuff. Like I thought the DC Black Label was gonna be the Vertigo stuff that they changed to kind of DC Black Label. Vertigo was shut down, maybe. But either way, Dark Horse is a separate entity. Like Dark Horse was the one publishing Star Wars shit for so fucking long. So I don't think Dark Horse has turned into DC Black Label.
DC Black was
Vertigo. Okay, that's what I thought. All right. Okay. There we go. So that's what I thought. Dark Horse is Dark Horse. I agree, Dash Attack. I've read a lot of Dark Horse comics, just none of them have been Batman ones. Andrew Johnson for 5. I think Ryan's right. The Joker's mocking Batman for what he's become. Even he does the Batman voice. Thank you, Andrew Johnson. And Norin Blythers for $10. A flying man, a superhero. What we're all here to talk about. Now, with all that being said, let's fucking watch this shit again. I turned my wrong thing. Turn off my camera. Let's just watch this shit again. Fuck breaking it down. We're going to watch this shit. Here we go.
The bell's been rung. But in the dark, among the stars, the god is dead.
The temple that held the mother box.
I had a dream. Almost like a premonition. I think there's an attack coming.
Look at this motherfucker.
Oh god.
This one will fall.
Ah, so cool.
Look at this blood right here.
Yeah. Boom.
Fucking slices her.
I'm building an alliance to defend ourselves.
How do you know your team's strong enough? If you can't bring down the charging bull and don't wave the red cape,
Perfect, like that kind of line from Jeremy Irons.
You were sent here for a reason.
That was dope. That picture falling in there.
And even if it takes you the rest of your life, find out what that reason is.
Call back to Man of Steel.
Is he reversing time there?
That's what I was thinking.
It will. It has to. We live in a society where honor is a distant memory. Isn't that right? Batman.
Damn.
So
let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. So like, dude, this Superman with a boom tube behind him.
Yeah.
Black suit Superman.
Oh, look at that shit. He looks so pissed off too.
Yeah. This ain't no fucking
This is not Boy Scout Christopher Reeve Superman. This is a Superman who's going to... You see him like punching something, which is probably Steppenwolf, and then like coming back and
punched him, then hit him with the with them beams.
Yeah. He throws a punch.
The other thing I wanted to point out a couple things in here. What's going on there? This image, right? I'm gonna play it forward. So this is Flash, obviously in the Speed Force.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like that explosion is shrinking as I'm playing it forward, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. Think about this. In the fandom trailer, this was playing in forward motion. There was an explosion, and Flash is standing there. So in this part, he's running to reverse the explosion.
Yeah,
He's
that's
winding
kind of
the
what I
explosion
think.
back.
Yeah.
Like
I think
it looks like
something happened that just set off like an explosion. May have killed the Justice League or something like that. That's what I was thinking. And
But
he's
then
gone
also
back
we
in
have
time.
BVS, that scene where he comes through and he says like I'm too early or I'm too soon, too soon.
Yeah, that's
We
kind of
tying back into that as well.
This like kind of flashback to the first flight here. That I really am excited for that. This line, I want to hear him say this line because that's what I'm talking about. Like just some of the, especially with a lot of Alfred's lines are just so poetic. Listen to this.
How do you know your team's strong enough? If you can't bring down the charging bull, then don't wave the red cape at it.
If you can't bring down the charging bull, which he does to Steppenwolf charging Aquaman, then don't wave the red cape at it.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. Look at this bitch get sliced open. Look at that fucking blood.
The blood, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And obviously I just want to look at this. Now people asking, is this Apocalypse or is it an Earth that's already been changed? I prefer to think it's Apocalypse.
Yeah, this is Apocalypse.
But Darkseid looks like he's about to fuck your bitch. And then I think this is after the Unity. That's kind of what I think. It's after the Unity, and Darkseid's kind of appearing to him, and Steppenwolf's like, bowing down.
Look at his armor. His armor's actually being like unfolded.
This is with the armor off. Yeah, he has the armor off of him. You can see his he looks like
it's going down his shoulders.
Looks like a fucking nutsack. I'd wear it too then. Where's it with it on? Here it is.
Yeah, look at that.
He looks really different.
Wow.
Yeah.
The barbed wire uniform.
Yeah. So there you go. I'm looking forward to it, guys. Ain't nothing much else I can say other than fuck yeah. Let me catch up on some super chats and we'll let our guests talk a little bit. No more for $2. What's the word if Justice League Snyder Cut does well? Nobody knows, but I can tell you for all the people that say there's never a chance that we'll have a sequel, there's never a chance you'll see anything else. They also said this would never happen. So if you want it, keep asking about it. That's the best I can say. Keep the press on. That's the only way we'll get it through these people.
I tweeted yesterday, shoot, let our wallets do the talking. Let our money do the talking. Get the subscribe to HBO Max. Buy the merchandise, support the film, and I mean, at least make it so that Warner Media and the people who run HBO Max don't have any other option than to start thinking about a sequel,
or not only a sequel, but the air cut of Suicide Squad. Because if this gets momentum, succeeds, then we could see the air cut of Suicide Squad as well. Yeah,
that's another cat who got fucked over, and really it hurt his career. Because both him and Zach, I mean, think about it. What if Zach has got Army of the Dead, and Ayer had Fury, but hadn't really had too much else going on since that.
Yeah. Clinton evidently can't super chat. Wonder Woman is a rapist. Damn you, YouTube. But thank you, Clint. Solid Crusader for $5. You want DC to kick Marvel's ass? We got right here from Zack Snyder. I can certainly smell 98% audience score and even 90% critic score. I don't see that happening. I think there's going to be a large section of people that are hating on this movie.
Oh, they will
both
hate
from the critics and the audience.
They're going to say, "Oh, it's just the same. It's the same as the job." Man, that's the shit that's going to get on my nerves. Let me stop.
13% is what he's going to get from the critics.
Yeah, I'm thinking like fucking 60, somewhere around there. That's what I think. Blue-Eyed Scorpio for $5. I'll be honest, I truly don't see any difference from Joss Whedon's movie. I also didn't watch Joss Whedon's movie.
He's the great. Listen, he shows up in Star Wars Theories chat, and Star Wars Theory doesn't really
he doesn't quite understand the troll.
And he's just like, why is he saying that? I'm like laughing my head off, man. He's like, who is this guy?
Much.
Oh Lord, what a treasure to have on our team.
Yeah, absolutely. WZRBS for $5. Really looking forward to 95 audience scores and 45 from critics because of elitism and wokeness from the Snyder Cut. Darn toxic fans winning. That's kind of what I see. I don't see a 90%. I see more like an 80% audience. That's kind of what I'm thinking, because there is just a big section of people that just do not like Zack Snyder's movies. Like, that's especially his DC movies, just bottom line, who think like, again, who really do just think that, wow, these just aren't the characters. When in reality, like I said, I feel like we've had so many iterations of all these different characters that this is the medium where you do things like this. This is a multiverse. These are Elseworld stories. Like, this is the medium where you do things like this, not Star Wars. But that's just kind of my take on it. Before I finish up some of these super chats, Mara, why don't you tell everybody about your channel and what you're up to?
Hello, I'm well, I got my name changed to Mrs. Mara, and that is a long story, but I go by Jade Shadow on YouTube or Mara Jade on Twitter, and my channel has primarily been covering well, essentially assortment of things, but I'm going to be starting to get back into talking more about Zack Snyder's Justice League now that we're getting into the final stretch pre the release on March 18th, because there are so many things that I want to talk about, to include a Screen Rant article I saw earlier this evening about how the opening scene will include Lex Luthor and I believe Steppenwolf for the Zack Snyder Justice League movie. So I'm going to maybe cover that in a video tomorrow. I'm also covering gaming as well. So if you like all that, check out my channel. I'm also on Twitch, Jade_Fire, and I'm playing Witcher 3 right now, streaming it on my Twitch channel.
Hell yeah. And my nerdy home just put it in the chat there. Uche, what do you got going on, brother?
Yeah, you can find my channel. You can find my channel either by typing in my name, as you see it here on the screen, or search for The Observant Lyman. Mainly covering sports, but you know what? I'm about to start doing some DCEU coverage as well. I'm about to start doing some Snyder Cut coverage, and thinking about doing a live stream probably tomorrow, maybe tomorrow night, to kind of go over this trailer, go over a couple of my perspective, or go over my perspective on some things happening with this movie, and maybe drop some exclusive information about what may be coming in the future.
Well, yeah,
in regards to all this. So we'll see. But tomorrow night,
we might only wait a little bit on a lot of that stuff.
We'll probably wait. But
let the joy flow, Uche. This is a huge win for us.
Oh, yes. for sure. And you know, it's crazy, man. Like, I mean, it's hard to explain it because it's really like been since my childhood. Me and my brother both, and he's like he's 7 years older than me, but me and my brother both are diehard DC fans, and
that's awesome, man.
We have shared our like excitement over this. We shared our disappointment over this when it was going down in 2017, and it felt good getting a text from my older brother in the morning, with like all caps, Snyder Cut, So, I think this is a great win for the fandom, for fans of creative content in general. Like, we all know that these big industries with these executives who are able to basically supersede the creators who put their entire soul into making films, into making TV shows, into making comic books, into making any kind of media. We see them take control too often. And I think that this is one of those few times when, a collective base of people got together and just, continued to be persistent and relentless about getting an opportunity to do that or to right a wrong. And, for whatever the motives may be from AT&T, which we're pretty sure it was for money, but they recognize that because of the support that Zack Snyder has in the internet space and in real life, money has been raised to save people's lives with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention because of Zack Snyder and the release of Snyder Cut movement. So they see all these things and they read the writing on the wall. We don't have anything to lose by releasing the Snyder Cut. So let's give the fans what they want. And here we are. So good job to the fans, and, looking forward to March 18th.
Yep. Mexican Iron Man, what do you got going on, brother?
Nothing but celebrating your great leadership and congratulating Jay and for his great leadership as well. And for all the crap they talk about this wonderful group of people, I can only say that, hey, as a Mexican brother, I've never had a greater group of people around me, and it's a diverse group. You'd be surprised. We don't always agree on everything, but you know what? It's a great group where, regardless of whether this guy gets along, that guy gets along, we can all love and celebrate each other all the time and celebrate the things we love. So thank you for that opportunity.
All right, yeah, thank you for being here. Check out Mexican Iron Man. He's on Echo Base Network. He's their producer, so definitely go support. Good guys over there. Jay, Drunk 3PO, what do you got going
on? Real quick, can you share my screen?
Yes.
So I put this out on my Instagram. It's kind of interesting. I was like, would anybody like for me to make a shirt? Because I like Gina's whole thing was welcome to the rebellion. So she actually she actually put it on her Instagram and was like, this is a good idea. So if you're interested, I made these shirts and sweatshirts. Very simple. It says the rebellion. There's another one that says welcome to the rebellion if you want one. And what we're going to do is every month, whatever money we make from this shirt, we're going to give it away to a different charity each month. Now, I know over the months, it'll just trickle down and die down. But I already sold 320 of these today. So pretty cool. And I think we're going to do
320.
Yeah. I think we're going to do feed. Well, Gina put it on her Instagram. Yeah. She put it on her and, she's got 1 million plus. So I think we're going to do Feed America first. That'll be the first month.
Feed me. I need pizza.
Yeah. So let's just keep the ball rolling with helping and doing things. So if you want one, that's on my Twitter or it's in my Teespring store. And there you go. If you get one, I always ask people to send me a email of some of them wearing one because I'll post it up. So
yeah.
There it is, awesome, there, man. Everyone. That's it. That's what I got going on. And
that's fucking awesome. Thank you, Jay, for being on. Make sure to subscribe to all these wonderful people here on the panel. A couple super chats to close it out. Norrin Blathers for $10. Another super sticker with the man flying like a superhero. Thank you very much, Norrin Blathers. Solid Crusader for $2. Who do you think would win, Darkseid or Thanos? Darkseid.
I gotta go with my boy Darkseid.
Darkseid.
And then if Thanos did have the Infinity Gauntlet, still Darkseid.
Yeah. Omega beams obliterate Infinity Gauntlet before he can actually do anything.
Anti-life.
I disagree, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Motherfucker could control Darkseid with the anti-life equation, or could control Thanos with the anti-life equation.
Reality Gauntlet.
Yeah, that's true.
Won't even know he's there. A whole nother conversation for another day.
That's true. For me, I do want to plug one thing. If you like talking about the Zack Snyder's Justice League stuff, I have a second channel that I've just been uploading my live streams to. For the most part, that's what this channel really is, RK Outpost Live. But recently, I put this Revan unboxing on there. It's a real video. Got me 1.6 thousand views. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to start uploading a couple trailer reactions. And I've got really good interaction on it the past couple days. So I'm going to probably start doing some more things here, probably specifically centered around Zack Snyder's Justice League news. But I'll also post other shit about Star Wars and whatever there. So cool. If you want another channel to hear me talk, as if there aren't enough already, you can check out RK Outpost Live. I'll put it in the chat really quick.
How's your watch time over there, boss?
I just applied for monetization today. So,
congratulations, man.
Yeah.
My gaming channel, dude, 1,000 hours away.
Hell yeah. Already. How many subs are you at?
870.
Oh, you'd be there in a heartbeat then.
Yeah, I can't believe it. So hopefully this month. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, man. And I do see another super chat from Langford on the Streamlabs. People needed to let Batfleck and Superman's arc play out. Ahsoka didn't become a fan favorite character after 2 seasons of the Clone Wars. The comics didn't start with the characters in their prime. It's still 2 of the best live action versions of Batman and Superman. Agree, Langford. That's my view of it.
Absolutely.
We can't go back and change the past, but we can look at what happened and try to maybe explain why a little bit. So there you go. Guys, this has been crazy. Thank you for being here. Y'all are awesome. Thanks
for the invite, man. Always a pleasure.
Always. And I guess we're going to end it with kind of the only reaction that I really wanted to have, but I couldn't because it would have immediately got demonetized, to Zack Snyder's Justice League. Here it is.
Fuck yeah! Yeah, fuck yeah, bitch! That's what I'm fucking talking about!